bitch bend over, let me see it. If you're looking for a real ass nigga, let me be it. Got the V12 bin, parked outside. There ain't enough room to fit them holes in my riding sauna. Fuck some, suck some faces. Making big T's dancing in the trick faces. She sleep in the day, but pop a pussy at night. You kiss that bitch in her mind, but she been sucking my fight. Now get your mind right, nigga, you a simp. And I'm a red hot motherfucking pimp. And make the cuz get down on the floor, like a real live money making pro. You gotta take it out. Take it out, and let a young ass nigga break you wild, bitch. You gotta take it out. Take it out, and let a young ass nigga break you wild some, bitch. Yeah, ATL, what's going down?
Let me see. Let me see it.
Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Bend over, let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Bend over, let me see it. Take it out, bitch. Bend over, let me see it. I'm Sweet James Jones and a trick I couldn't be. Got a young brown stay. That's 20 years old. We should pop it from the back. From the ATL hole to the H-time stripper to the boppers in the field, sucking nuts and pulling zipper. Now tell me how you feel when you see a pimp shine, but you're wasting too much time. Get back up on your grind, let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Bend over, let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Bend over, let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Bend over, let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Say yeah, I'm a country ass nigga. I fuck with your wife. If your bitch come around and put some dick in her life. Them niggas ain't real, mother started smoking rock. It all fell down cause they were fighting too much pop. But what goes up? Why these bitches sucking dick? Every city, every time, I'm ballin' in the mix. I'm serving niggas bricks, keep a bad yellow bitch. On my team, sipping lean, ain't no thing of the past. The 84 for wrist with the slant back ass, keeping me a pro. Next to my foe, instead of stacking paper, steady screaming to my hole. Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Bend over, let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Bend over, let me see it. Never let whole ass niggas ride front back and side to side. I got front back and side to side. I got front back and side to side, and I got a 64 Chevy in my yard, a white drop top, pearl St. John's hard, white plus inside, something wrong with friends. Triple gold, double A, day, this the best. I got 16 switches like Dre, cause where I'm from, bitch, that's what everybody play, is UDK 1 on my motherfucking plate. Cause real people, niggas don't never roll fake. I'm about to hit top way, get bad charge, tripping by myself, I'm about to cloud up my floor. And by the go up,
Yeah,
man. Yeah, man.
I got the JTCs in the kicker, so it's wrong. I know them home ass niggas gonna
Hey, no, you ain't playing my song. I want to hear,
Side, daddy.
God, you know what song I want to hear. Daddy, so good. You know what I want to hear. That's my shit.
I got to do it for you. We're going to start this bitch out right, man. You know
That's
what I'm
my
saying,
shit.
man? We can talk about God, who's in the motherfucking building, man. Salute, man. Shout out to everybody coming through, man. You already know. Hey,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Say, man.
You did. God is in the building. I am God. For those who don't know.
Back at it, man.
And it go like this. PCPA tree a nigga, polo fuck that heel figure, made myself a ghetto star, on the slab, sipping bar, back in green, red and white, the motherfucker shit don't come back right, that's how dealers get pride.
I be flying like a falcon,
Candy, you so fresh.
That song.
Candy, you so fresh.
Kimmy, you, Kimmy, you, Kimmy, you, Kimmy, you, Kimmy, you, so fast. Kimmy, you, so fast. Kimmy, you, so fast. Kimmy, you, so fast. How you gonna eat all the food you eat? Kimmy, you, so fast. Kimmy, you, so fast.
Did I
How
mess
you
up?
gonna eat all the food you eat? Roni boo on your mind. Roni boo all the time. Roni boo on your mind.
Hey, God Keys up in the building for sure. Hey, yo. I miss y'all too, man. I love y'all like crazy, man. Real tough. I love y'all motherfuckers like crazy. I'm back. I am God. We about to get this bitch up here. You did. Straight up. Straight up. Kitty, Frappuccino up in the building. What's good? There we go. There goes my phone.
Roni boo on your mind. Roni boo.
There we go. Yeah, there goes my phone right there.
How you all the food you eat? Kimmy, you so fast. Kimmy, you so fast. How you gonna eat all the food you eat? Roni boo on your mind. Roni boo all the time. Roni boo on your mind. Roni boo all the time. Kimmy, you so fast. Kimmy, you so fast.
Ronnie Boo on your mind. Ronnie Boo on your mind. Ronnie Boo all the time. Give me you so fast. 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 Give me you. Give me you so fast. Give me you so fast. Ronnie Boo on your mind. Ronnie Boo on your mind. Shout out to that Cammy. Big girls worldwide. Yeah. Don't stop eating, baby. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep eating. Yeah. Yeah. Can you? Hey man, say man, just a motherfucking game, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, hey man, shout out to them stuffed turkeys out there, man. Shout out to them 600 pounders out there, man. Shout out to them 1,000 pounders out there, man. Doing it big on TV, man. Hey man, shout out to the motherfuckers out there who can't, man. Shout out to the ones who out there on respirators. Hey man, keep eating, man. Keep enjoying yourself, man. Hey, what have you ate today? What have you fed me lately? Hey now, say now, what's in your refrigerator? Hey man, did you get my snacks? Did you get my snacks? Did you get my snacks, bitch? Yeah. Yeah. Tamiko, what's up? Black dog in his house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn it up. I can't hear you. Your speaker too low.
Yeah, man. We up in here, man.
You got your speaker on the low side?
Can you hear me now?
I'm turning mine up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
I can't hear y'all.
Yeah, that's what that is. We hear you loud and clear, man. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot to talk about, man. You know what I'm saying? War ready. You know, they dropping bombs like it's goddamn confetti. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh man, I told you they kicking off that spiritual war, man. Trump doing that.
What's the spiritual war?
We knew he was gonna do that anyway. First of all, he got the Mexicans coming at him. The so-called I can just look at you, nigga. Do you live here? That's basically what he telling them. You're Mexican, so now that's gonna fuck with your spirit. It's gonna make people that's genuine people feel like, you dig what I mean? You doing them wrong, man. You can't do that. So now, yeah, your spirit kicking in now. It's gonna be a very spiritual war. That's what Trump is kicking off. A lot of people thought it was gonna be a race war. No, it's not. It's not gonna be a race war. It's gonna be spiritual. You better pay attention, because if you don't, goddamn it, you're gonna have a lot of taxes to come with it.
Yeah.
On the you dig side.
Yeah, I can dig it, man. You know what I'm saying? But what's really
man,
really
y'all gotta
crazy,
turn y'all microphone up. I can't hear y'all.
You can't. You telling me? Yeah, I think it's it might be on your end, because we hear you loud and clear.
My microphone turned all the way up.
And you saying you can't hear me?
Yeah, your microphone sound kind of low. Mine's turned up. I already hit my mic and I pressed my page. So on your end, you probably have to hit your microphone and turn your speaker up.
What about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, because mine was
What everybody been on, man? I miss y'all, motherfuckers.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers been worried about your man going to where keys, man. Where keys been, man? Where keys at?
man, you know me. I had to, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, take my hiatus. I told you I'm weird. I have my times where I probably just go missing and be like, fuck it, I ain't fucking with nobody for a minute. You know what I'm saying? On some Michael Jackson type shit. Fuck it, I need to be by myself for a minute. You know what I mean? And that's just me getting in tune with nature and shit like that. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, when I was on that hiatus, I ran into a lot of shit about that nigga what y'all call him, Solomon. I learned a lot of Solomon. I learned a lot of masonry.
Okay.
When I was by I learned a lot.
Yeah, we got a little technical difficulty, God keys. You know what I'm saying? I think it's your Wi-Fi setting. You know, that's doing all that. What we'll do is try to log back on. Try to delete all your tabs and try to log back on with that link because we got a little static issue. You did. Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's starting to look like, some type of spiritual warfare effect, man. Like, you know, they doing some major destruction. It almost look like they just be remodeling places, man. Like, when you don't hear a bunch of casualties and all that, they just redecorating. Them motherfucking tycoons getting their insurance money for them properties and all that. They just be redecorating. When I looked at that shit with Iran and not Iran, but Ukraine and Russia, it just seemed like they was bombing skyscrapers and stuff like that, like land they wanted. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So, you know, when you playing at that level, a lot of people get paid because that war bring insurance too. So imagine if you got a skyscraper worth maybe like $100 million, $200-300 million or more, and you got insurance, you got full coverage insurance on that motherfucker. War hit, and the motherfuckers is rich. You understand what I'm saying? So war brings money. Don't never get it fucked up like it's just all about the killing. Because if it was all about the killing, they'd drop them nuclear jumps. If it was all about the killing, you know.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, loud and clear, man. Loud and clear.
My man.
Yeah, I was letting them know that a lot of them insurance and shit. You know, imagine if you got a $300-400 million building and you got full coverage insurance on that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? One of them missiles hit that motherfucker, it's over with. And that's what I be noticing about these wars, man. They just really be destroying property. They don't really be killing too many people. Like, if it was about them killings, if it was about
that's
the
what
people.
A war is about. All wars is about property.
It's about property.
Look at the game of chess. All you want to do is take over the land. You really don't kill no pieces in the game of chess. All you want to do is take over the land and trap the king.
Hey, God, you ain't got no headphone set you can put on?
I don't got no background going on. I don't know. Is mine irritating?
No, what it is that it's a tad bit static. Like when you talking, it be chopping up.
Let me see. Do I got anything else open?
Yeah, see if you got anything else open, or just if you got some little micro headphones or something that you can connect to the phone, try to put them on, or get closer to your Wi-Fi box. Cut off anything you don't need with the Wi-Fi on, because that might be draining some of the power or whatever. echo cancellation? Let me put on the echo cancellation for me. Yeah, I got that already on. Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I got the echo cancellation on already. But yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? These wars, man, I'm just, you know, being observant motherfucker to it. And what's happening right now, and all I see is skyscrapers being crushed. I don't really see people dying like that. Like back in the day, you see bodies. Like you see motherfuckers stretched out, blown apart, brains, kids, brains blowed, all kind of shit. Like that's what war was doing. Now with these current wars, all I see is property. I don't really see people like that. You know, I just see a bunch of property that they want to get rid of, or it's almost like they know where to hit. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about these missiles, make no mistake about it, if they got any kind of digital responder inside them, then that means there's a decoder, meaning that you can change the fucking, you can change the system on them things and send them right back where you want to if it's like that. You know, anything digital can be reprogrammed. So we got to be mindful and all that. You know what I'm saying? What we watching, what we seeing, all that. We did. Yeah, we got to be mindful of all that. Salute, God. You here with us? Okay, can't hear him. We can't hear you now, but it'll come on. Man, shout out to everybody coming through, tuning in, man. Y'all smash that like button. You did it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, hit that add button. You know what I'm saying? Got God Keys back in the building, full effect. You know what I mean? Deuce, Ron, Peter Frappuccino in the house, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot to talk about. Go to the news. See what we got going on. Man, shout out to everybody coming through, man. Let's go to let's check out some of these. Check out some news. Let's go to CBS News. Trump addresses strikes on Iranian nuclear site, warns Iran to make peace.
This is a CBS News special report. I'm Margaret Brennan in Washington.
Subscribe CBS News. Trump addresses strikes on Iranian nuclear sites, warns Iran to make peace. Subscribe CBS News.
News out of the Middle East. President Trump is about to address the nation. Roughly 2 hours ago, he announced via social media that the United States has bombed 3 nuclear sites in Iran. CBS is reporting 6 B-2 stealth fighters dropped 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs on at least one of those sites, the very first time that weapon has been used in combat. Today, it was to destroy an underground nuclear facility about 60 miles southeast of Tehran. The president said that all American planes are safely now out of Iranian airspace. These American strikes are in support of a war that Israel launched on Iran 9 days ago. We know tonight that the Israeli prime minister has spoken to the president, thanked him, and congratulated him on the strikes. We are awaiting word now from the president of the United States himself, who is expected to address the nation from the White House. As we await him taking the podium, I want to go to our White House correspondent, Weijia Jiang. Weijia, we know that the president returned to the White House in the 5 o'clock hour, around 6 p.m. He had a national security briefing. What do we know about what was going on at that period of time?
Margaret, that's right. He was in his golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey, but came back this evening, which was actually always the plan, even when he took off for that trip. And right beforehand, he said that Iran had at maximum 2 weeks to try to reach a diplomatic deal. There was no indication at that time that he was going to follow through with the strikes. But of course, that quickly changed.
We see the president now.
The U.S. military carried out.
Salute, shout out to everybody tapping in. Hit that like button, subscribe button, follow button, add button. Let's get back to the show. Trump addresses after Iran strikes.
Massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin-Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God, I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's so. I also want to.
President of the United States walking away from the podium there where he had been flanked by the Secretary of State, National Security Advisor Marco Rubio, along with Secretary of Defense and his Vice President, announcing and congratulating the military on what he called spectacular military success in these strikes that were carried out inside Iran earlier today. He said the sites were, quote, completely obliterated. Now, he did seem in those remarks not to completely close the door on further military action. He thanked the U.S. military and said that he hopes that their services won't be needed again. And he said all of this was meant to erase the nuclear threat posed by Iran. To be clear, U.S. intelligence assessment has been that Iran was not yet building a nuclear weapon, but that they had been enriching nuclear fuel at worrisome levels. The international community had high degree of outcry on that point. Just a few weeks ago in Vienna, you had the Israeli strikes come the following day after that, in the midst of what had been a diplomatic effort by President Trump and his envoy, Steve Witkoff, to negotiate with Iran to get them to limit their nuclear program. Those did not result in an agreement, though up until today, I am told, the U.S. was trying to reach out. Yet, just a few hours ago, we saw these strikes carried out. I want to go over to the Pentagon now, where our Charlie D'Agata is. And apparently, Charlie, you'll be there early tomorrow, since the president just said there will be an 8 a.m. Pentagon press conference where he will detail these.
Salute for everybody tuning in. If you notice, this is all desert, mainly spaces. The Middle East, they look poor and they look like they don't have much going on. They look, like deserted, but they spend most of their money building bunkers, repairing old bunkers from thousands of years ago, caves deep inside the mountains and underground things of that nature, stuff like that. That's what they spend their money on. That's where all their money goes. See, what they show you on the outside is not really what's going down. You know what I'm saying? When you look at those Middle East countries, they look like they're like deserted and, just war-ridden already places. But the money, all the billions and trillions of dollars that they get from the oil and everything that they produce, the heroin and everything, the poppy plants, everything, all that. The poppy, all that stuff that they produce, it goes into the cave mines, into the bunkers. That's where all their money goes. That's why when you look at places like Saudi Arabia, all those Middle Eastern major places, they don't show you the real. They just show you the outside. But on the inside, their money is going to war.
Yeah, that's why he got that what they call that shit he got going on now. What the fuck's the name of that shit? So what the fuck they call that shit? He taxing everybody just to bring they shit up into the country.
He doing what now? Let's peep that.
Strikes, the Secretary of Defense will. What do we know at this hour? I know Iran is acknowledging and saying that these strikes happened, but that it will not end their nuclear program.
Yeah, well, Margaret, we await that briefing tomorrow. We have had very few briefings here at the Pentagon, so it'll be interesting to see how much detail is shared there. But as it was already shared, 6 bunker busters on Fordow, that would have meant at least 3 of the B-2 bombers that we've already discussed, where they came from, when they were deployed. We were talking earlier today about whether they went from Whiteman, whether they were going to Guam. Maybe it was a head pump, maybe it was a head shake of where this was going to go and when it was going to happen. Something like 30 Tomahawk missiles at 2 other sites
Yeah,
there.
that's crazy.
They've been called massive precision strikes. I think what we need to know, and I'm not sure whether that is knowable at this point, is how damaging that was. If the White House is to be believed, whether it crippled and entirely took out Iran's nuclear capabilities at Fordow, Natanz, and Safran. He's calling it a spectacular success. But the other thing we need to be concerned about now is he mentioned when he took out Qassam, the assassination of Qassam Soleimani when he was president. And we saw the retaliation then across multiple American targets. There are 40,000 U.S. service members spread throughout the Middle East, and they have come under attack before. And we've already known, even leading up to this, because it was always a what if, but leading up to where we are now, we've been speaking to people here at the Pentagon, DOD, saying if there is an Iranian retaliation, how are we postured? How is the United States postured to defend against that? There are multiple. In fact, I can't remember how many times or the last time we've seen this many military assets flooded into that area in order to defend against a possible Iranian retaliation to protect U.S. forces there.
No doubt that force posture has been really built up in these past few days. At the same time, it was just this morning that we heard the U.S. ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, announce with detail for the very first time how Americans in Israel could actually safely get out. The U.S. government brought about 70 of them by plane to Greece, evacuating them from the area. The airspace over Israel has been closed for days, so it has made it hard for people to leave if they wanted to, because there has been this back and forth with Iran's retaliation against Israel, some of those missiles piercing their defenses, those U.S.-provided defenses in many ways. And I know it has been remarkable, Charlie, that whether we're talking to current or former officials, they all seem to say it's amazing we haven't yet seen retaliation. We haven't yet seen a strike against a U.S. base or U.S. assets. Now that the United States has entered this conflict in this way, that may change. And I have no doubt that there is a bracing for what could be coming next. I spoke.
Salute. Miss Queen Sunkist, salute. Infamous Truth Teller, salute. Y'all hit that link. Hit that link. Let's talk about it. Right now, we're speaking on the U.S.-Iran situation. U.S. is helping Israel, and they have dropped several missiles on Iran. And there's a lot of major threats that's been coming along with this Iran plan to unleash a havoc the world has never seen. It's a lot to this. It's not just, a one-sided deal. A lot of people claiming to help Iran if they U.S. interferes and so on, or joins the war, or whatever. But it's a lot going on right now with this. And what's crazy about this, it's a lot of land in this world. It's a lot of land.
Yeah, and that's what they fighting for. I keep telling you.
Yeah, but the whole thing about it is that it's a lot of land. Like, listen. It's enough.
There's a lot of land that ain't been uncovered yet. You know that, right?
That's what it appears that they want Iran for, is the hidden land. And
it's gold there. They want that gold.
It's all kind of, it's not just gold. You got ancient technology that, from what it appears, is that as if they have some type of ancient technology.
Yeah, well, you can take that all the way back to Anunnaki.
Yeah, but the whole thing is, it appears that that they don't know how to. You see, that they don't know.
All wars, every war that ever happened, who is it with? It's always with them that's up in Iraq or over there up in, you know what I'm saying, right there up in that area. Right there across from Africa. You cross that river right there. They want that land. All you gotta do is cross the. If you cross the Nile River, once you cross the Nile, they want that. What's west of Africa, which was part of Africa, that's what they want because that's where they mining at.
From my understanding, they saying the Mississippi River is the Nile River. Like they
That's part of.
like they done switched up. And then they got some type of ideology as if you can get to Africa from Arizona. Like I done heard a whole bunch of conspiracies when it comes to the land. I personally know that the earth is flat. I'm not even going to debate that bullshit like they teach us. But when you look at this, it has to be something more deeper to it. I don't know if I don't know if they fighting over heroin. I don't know if they fighting over.
You just said it right there.
Yeah, it gotta be something.
All drugs is opioids. All medicine come from opioids. Period.
Opiate.
That's heroin.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing in medicine, period. I don't care what drug you take, it has opium up in it.
Yeah, I think they gotta be fighting over some dope or something, either some dope or some ancient technology that Iranians, are protecting or hiding or don't know how to work, and America know what's up. It's something in there that's needed.
Exactly. Them white folks want it.
Yeah,
why you think they said, look at America, right? Look at Russia, how they going at war. America like, fuck y'all, we ain't even about to fuck with y'all. We finna go over here and go get this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that should tell everybody something right there. Even the United Nations, right? And one of them countries can call on the United Nations to help them out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Russia and Ukraine, right?
Yeah, if it got out of hand.
But the United Nations won't even fuck with them. All of them is focusing on the land that you just said. Everybody's focusing on that because there's some powerful resource there that they want.
Come there. No doubt about it. For them to be dropping bombs on mountains and caves and deserts and shit like that, like listen to me. Majority of everything y'all see, if y'all look at the screen, everything you see in brown is Iran. Majority of that space is desert and mountains. You know what I'm saying?
It's desert and mountains because it's covering something up.
Well, no, that's what I'm trying to tell you. They got underground. All their money go in the underground, supporting this underground system that they have.
Exactly.
Those Saudi Arabian places, they look poor and everything on the outside, but because all the trillions of dollars are going into remodeling and building caves and underground tunnels.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
When you see them getting ready, they coming out of caves with like 40,000 missiles. So if you're able to hide 40,000 giant missiles and all that kind of shit in caves, you can imagine how big this place is.
That means you have billions of dollars if you're able to get all that many pistols.
Pretty much. I believe Iran is either drugs involved or they got some type of portal system in them caves to connect to other lands.
I go with your first analogy. I think they want the opium because all drugs have to have opium. They have to have an opioid in order to make that drug.
Yeah, that's
what all that have that opioid.
Vietnam, a lot of them wars dealing with the Asians had to do with drugs. They covered it up. They covered it up like it was political. Them motherfuckers don't. Man, let me tell you something.
Even the Mexican wars over drugs.
Yeah, it ain't no different from Abraham Lincoln using slaves to conquer the South because they getting all that money.
Yep,
you know
the same. Thank you. I'm glad you used that. And I'm glad you used it. It's the same thing.
Same
exact.
It's
just modernized.
It's just modernized into a way that it could be accepted because of the times. Now,
exactly.
You got to think about this. You know what I'm saying? They care about the imprint they making on the world. They don't give a damn about the people. You know what I'm saying? You know, because if it was all about the people, it wouldn't have never been all that bullshit going on in the first place. But
exactly,
it's definitely something more powerful and more because you know we all know Israel. The reason that they get all that money is because Israel they in the apex of everything. They in the heart and center of everything in the Middle East for us traveling. If you move in any kind of merchandise, if you move in any kind of missiles, any kind of anything going through, it got to go through Israel because it's the center from Africa, Europe, Asia, Russia.
Yeah, so you've been paying attention to this map, I see.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's showing everything. I've been looking at the Middle East map all together, and you know everything got to go through Israel. I don't know if y'all ever heard of the Silk Road.
Yeah. I know what you're talking. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Actually,
So
shit, I was just watching a documentary on that the other day.
yeah, they got documentaries about it by now, but it's been going on since the '90s. You know, I mean before that, like you got like I remember I was young when I heard about it. I want to say like late '90s, early 2000s, around that time when I first heard about the Silk Road.
Yeah,
Because they was you know, motherfucker was bringing in silencers, all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yep.
And so, you know, motherfuckers was talking about, you know, I don't know what I never did really know
But
what
that was the Silk Road really was them bringing all the artillery into America.
Yeah, the artillery and the drugs. You could get any kind of dope.
Yeah. That's when they were setting up all of the neighborhoods. They were setting up every black neighborhood you go to. They were setting us up.
Yeah, and so you know what I'm saying. You know you can you know get it done like that. I want to say like I said, early 2000, mid 2000, late 90s. Like it's been going on since you know ancient times. But I heard it as a youngster.
Okay.
And you know when you look at this whole thing with Iran, it just doesn't make sense because you know anytime
They
those
want
missiles.
them opioids out of there, man. They want the opioids out of. It's a lot of opioids over there. It's a lot in China too. That's why what's this shit that Trump called it? That damn what they call that shit? Where he taxing all of them. You want to put your products over here? I'm gonna charge you a whole bunch of money to bring your product. What's tariffs? That's what it is.
Tariff,
Tariff shit.
Tariff.
Yeah, and see, you notice his tariffs though is only really aimed at China. That's really the only place he aiming it at. He's not aiming it at India. He's not aiming it at Australia. None of that. He's really aiming it at China. Why? Because China makes a lot of money off of America. America is we probably owe China about 50 billion right now.
I think it was like 3 trillion or something. It was.
Oh, okay, it's 3 trillion. Okay, something like that.
Yeah,
you know what
I think it was like 3 billion, 3 trillion in debt to China or some shit.
And see, that's why Trump trying to be slick. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna charge y'all this because he's trying to knock off his debt. Why he trying to knock some of that off. That's why he charging them all of that much to bring their products up in here. But what he doing is fucking up a lot of jobs over here because most of these jobs over here come from China.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of the jobs over here come from China. So now McDonald's gonna have to goddamn it pay China a whole bunch of money to get their shit because China Trump charging them so much for it. Burger King gonna have to do it. Walmart gonna have to do it. That's why the main store they tell you about is if you watch the news, the main store they talk about when they talk about these tariffs is Walmart or Kroger. Because they know they sell the most products, and most products that's sold in America comes from China. So when you go there, You ain't about to get your discounts no more. Ain't no more Black Fridays, dog. These gonna be some Blue Fridays. You gotta pay. For real. For real. Because China is okay, he gonna charge us, we gonna charge y'all. Why you think everybody paying all this money for this Nintendo? That's a Chinese name right there. You see this Nintendo thing they just brought out? Who gonna pay $500 for a handheld game? But a fool. You did when it really only costs $100.
Ain't that something?
But the fool gonna pay $5. Know why? Because they want to play the newest Batman game. When you can just go to YouTube and watch somebody else play it.
Well, the whole thing is, you know, they focusing on PlayStation 6 right now. They're not worried about the PlayStation. They done
No,
did the
you're right. They focusing on the PlayStation, but guess who make that? Nintendo.
Nintendo make PlayStation? I thought Sony made PlayStation.
Sony makes Nintendo. It makes PlayStation. That's Michael Jackson shit. Michael Jackson's mama should be super rich right now off of this shit. Because he owned it the most. He owned the most shares, so she should own that. By natural right, I would say that his family should be super rich off of that shit.
I would have never known that.
Yeah, all of them. Every game you play, I don't care what game you put on, it's gonna either say Sony or Nintendo, but both of those are the same parts of the same company. Nintendo has an R behind it. It's a registered trademark of Sony.
I would have never known.
Even Sega and PlayStation, all of them come from Sony. Why you think all of the games that you play on your PS5 or PS4 or whatever game you got, they come from Nintendo? Nintendo never went out of business. People thought, oh, after Nintendo 16, they was dead. No, they wasn't. Nigga, they was heating up under Sony. They was making all of your games. It's just like a record company. Okay, say I'm the CEO. I own these records, right? But you be one of my artists, right? Okay, I got RONI Frappuccino over here. But now you make you a group under your other name, you know what I'm saying? Jordan James Champion. But that's still a part of God Keys Productions. You see what I'm saying? Sort of like how 50 Cent is with Eminem and Dr. Dre. Whatever 50 Cent makes, Dr. Dre and Eminem gonna get paid first. Then 50 Cent gonna get paid. Dr. Dre gonna get paid first. Then it's gonna be Eminem. Then 50 Cent he makes the lowest money out of their whole thing. He'll tell you that. That's how he became a billionaire, because Dr. Dre had to become a billionaire first.
Truth teller, salute.
Truth teller, peace, family. Peace, family. Welcome to the panel. Welcome everybody to the panel.
I don't know if you can hear me or not. I was just trying to put something in the back chat.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, God? How are you?
Man, I ain't heard from you in a minute, man. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. You still sound like your breath smell like you look.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
Good.
I'm doing good. Man, I miss y'all motherfuckers, man.
I know. I miss you too. Especially you.
Well, you know. I am God. You got to say it right. You got to say, I am God.
You're perfect.
You got to put the voice with it. If you don't put the voice with it, you ain't God. You did.
Yeah.
But no, I just did.
I don't want to scare the people sleeping, right?
Oh no, they need to wake their ass up. Fuck the people sleeping because goddamn it, if they stay too sleep, they gonna fuck around and die up in their sleep because motherfuckers is bombing their ass.
Bombs over
No.
Baghdad right now.
So I don't.
Hey,
know if
say
it
that
came
again,
out
God.
in the chat.
Bombs over what?
Bombs over Baghdad for real.
That's pimping right there, man. That's cold. That's cold. Y'all ain't even catch that. I'm gonna throw it back at you. Hopefully somebody got on the catcher's mitt.
Yeah.
But they'll catch it later on.
I'm gonna go grab it. I'm gonna grab the rest of it right now. Let me go grab it. Okay, I'll be right back.
All right.
No, he with the Kid Frappuccino show. Okay, y'all done upgraded. Okay. Y'all done upgraded.
Y'all go subscribe to the Kid Frappuccino show. She
yeah, y'all upgraded like a motherfucker.
Yeah, waiting on that waiting to get that that intro, waiting to get that intro right.
Okay. Working on something. That's what's up. Well, great minds, you know what I'm saying? I know y'all gonna come up with a powerful piece anyway.
Yeah. Got to do it.
No, for sure. Keep it fluid, you did.
Mm-hmm. Got to.
Yeah, they digging up in that land. They want all them opioids. That's what I see. But what you said, yeah, that's what they want. To me, they want either the opioids or the gold. If you go to that region of the land, you only gonna come up with opioids or gold. Unless you go deeper and you're gonna get some diamonds.
The gold is in Africa. They don't really have no gold like that.
They got the gold is from Africa.
Oil, and they got oil and they got biblical land. They got religious land.
Yeah, now, okay. Religious land. If you want to call it religious land, then you're gonna go to the Romans.
Well,
then that's a war with the Roman people right there that they fight. That's a Roman war. That's Romanian.
I'm speaking on ancient.
Okay.
I'm speaking on ancient religious lands. Basically, I'm speaking on like Stargate type of activity.
Okay.
He was talking about the Anunnakis. I'm speaking on that type of time. Because like I said,
if you go back to Anunnaki, then you're gonna go right there to Iran and Iraq, right there. Yep. Go back to Anunnaki.
The whole thing with the Yazoo creations and Jesus and all that stuff over there by Lebanon. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if they coming out of caves with
they still got underground cities over there.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. They coming out of caves with 30,000 missiles. If you can hide 30,000 missiles in a cave, they got a whole world down there. This ain't nothing.
Exactly. Thank you. Exactly.
That's what they hiding.
And see, what a lot of people don't get is that's the one part of the earth that never broke off.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it goes so deep, and it ain't never been flooded.
That's why.
Because it's the one part of the earth that never broke off. Every other part that broke off, it's been flooded. Don't believe me. Don't nobody believe me. Just do your research. And if you can prove me wrong so I can learn something.
Mm-hmm.
This is to the panel. But like I said, like he said, it goes very deep. It goes deeper than Atlantis, baby.
Yeah, I just got a message. They say uranium is rich in
why do you think it's called uranium?
Iran is rich in natural resource, And while petroleum and natural gas are by far its most significant term,
But why do you think that mineral is called uranium?
ooh, yeah, I get it now.
I am God.
That shit deep, man.
For real. A lot of people don't get that. I'm like, man, it's simple. They tell you in your face what they doing, but nobody pays attention to it. They bogus. I'm talking about they gangsters. Government is not government. Government is gangsters. Period. Because first of all, government gonna break you for all your bread. I don't care what you work for. I'm gonna tax you when you cash your check. I'm gonna tax you when you spend your money. I'm gonna tax you when you try to get your money. Know why? Because I want your money. So your $50 ain't nothing but $20. Because I'm taking most of that from you. You did.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna tell you you free to go make that money, but you gotta pay me first.
Yep. And like I was saying, Trump has been trying to strike deals with the old boy with Ukraine. He wants 50% of their land with the minerals and all the precious metals and all that stuff. So he's trying to strike these deals because that's what he's going after.
But I fucks with Trump.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. If
But I'm just saying
goddamn
that
we
that's what
gonna
he's
be in
going
play,
after.
we
That's what
want
he's.
control. We want
Yeah, he
control.
doesn't
If
want to
we
fuck
in
with them
play,
if
we
they don't.
want control.
Yeah, he said he won't fuck with them and he won't help them if they don't. Basically, he's like kind of holding them, like
Yeah,
you're
that's
being
basically
hostage.
what
Like
Trump telling everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't fuck with us, we ain't helping you do shit. Don't call on us when them motherfuckers, your rebels rebel against you. Don't call on us unless you give us your bread. That's what Trump telling everybody.
And I just gave
fuck yeah.
I just gave SendáRoni a link showing how many minerals and how many precious metals and stuff are in that land in Iran.
Let's go back to the name again. Let's go back to the name. Why do you think it's called uranium? Because it comes from Iran. That's why it's called uranium. You did?
Yeah, some deep shit.
But for real, look at the color of the land tells you what minerals come from it. If the land is sand, that means it has gold buried up under it.
There's gold,
Period.
uranium.
If the land is white, you got diamonds. Don't believe me? Go to Africa, look at it. Where you gonna find the diamonds? On where you find them white beaches. Where you find the gold? Where you find the gold beaches. Where you find the great minerals of the earth is where you find the rainforest. Everything is, the earth is the same color of the skin color of the people that it produces and of its minerals. Period. That's period. That's the earth.
And we're all connected. We're all energy. Yeah, we're all energy. So we're all connected. So like, yep.
We are energy solidified and with knowledge of itself. That's all we is. We just crystallized energy with knowledge of itself. All energy really has knowledge
Everything that
of
breathes
itself.
and eats, everything that breathes and eats on this earth is alive. That's alive is connected.
Exactly.
So plants,
Thank
animals,
you. I'm glad you
people.
said that. That is the ultimate truth. That's the ultimate
And
truth.
then the way we evolve, plants evolve. If there's a insect that's eating a certain plant, a species of plant, that species of plant will eventually evolve to be able to fight against that insect or whatever it is.
It learns to fight. That's called learning how to fight.
Evolution. Yeah, growth, whatever, and evolution, whatever.
Growth and development. That's GD. That's growth and development. That's GD. That's what I stand for.
We
I
all do
live
the
on
same
that
thing.
principle.
Anything that's alive does the same thing. Anything that's breathing.
I live on that principle. That's growth and development. That's the whole principle of life is growth and development. Period. If you don't grow and develop, you're gonna die. That's it. You're gonna remain still. If you stand still, you're gonna die. So therefore, you have to stay in constant motion. That's why everything moves. Even things that people think is solidified, it's still in motion. Don't believe me? All you gotta do is get you a one of them what they call them, a stethoscope, and
Yep.
you look at it, you will see the molecules of that thing moving around while it's still in a solidified shape.
Mhm.
Nothing stands still. Everything has to be in motion, because if
And
you
just like
stand still, you
your
die.
emotions are like a vibration. They're constantly changing. You know, they're constantly
Yeah,
fluctuating.
that's
You know,
energy motion. That's why
yep,
it's called emotions. That's
yep,
energy in motion.
that's it. You're right. Mm. And then when we exert fear, like if we exert fear in the collective, and that's why I said a lot of times too, like
Uh,
how us, but
Fear
here
is,
in America, like we have a melting pot of a lot of people from different parts of the world,
I would
speak
call
different
fear an
languages.
emotion. That's an energy motion, but
We all speak different languages, but they say
it's
that
your
they're
energy
the
moving
most.
into a place where it's afraid. You shouldn't
And they say
allow your
the
energy
most
to
thing that
ever
you could
be
do is say that
afraid of
there's
anything.
treason from
I
within
don't
because
care
you have.
what puts itself in front of you. You should never allow your energy to be afraid of it.
Yep,
Never.
exactly. Because if
I
you
don't
exert
even
it
care
in
if it's a
collective, then they
bullet
win.
coming to your head. Don't allow your energy to be afraid of it.
Mhm.
Never give anything power over you. Never.
That's why I said, like here in America, like we have a melting pot of people from all different parts of the world speak different languages. So if you tell them there's stuff going on and make them in fear, and they don't understand because they can't understand, they don't understand what they're saying, but they see that people are getting scared or they're exerting fear,
But
they're
see,
going to exert that
that's
fear
the
too in the
whole thing
collective.
about
Yep,
this
and then
country
that's where
right
they
here.
win. Oh.
You just said that. That's my whole thing about this country right here. Like, see, that's one thing I don't agree with that Trump doing. And that shit when you trying to tell somebody they got to go somewhere because they ain't got a card. Nigga, you ain't have a card to come over here. Y'all rob people to come over here. So how the fuck you gonna tell somebody they gotta have a card to come here? Fuck
And
you.
you funny, and I know that they say, well, they got here the right way, but most of his family, his wife, his grandfather, his two of his wives, who else? All were immigrants. His grandfather was an immigrant. He came over
Well,
from Germany. His mom was an immigrant.
most of the government of America, their people were immigrants, and if you really do the background check, you'll find that most of them are blood related.
Yeah, we're all connected,
Yeah,
100%.
I'm talking about the government. Everybody
Mhm.
in government power
Yeah,
in America.
even
As
in Great
far as
Britain. Yep, they're connected as
I'm talking
far as
about as
Great
far as
Britain. Yep,
president, Senate, and Congress go.
yep.
The presidential part,
There's
the
blood
Senate,
relation.
and the Congress, most of and the judicial part, most of them are blood related.
And the only one
That's
that
the only reason that
the
a nigga made it up in there,
the
because
only
he was
one that
one of the
they
slaves
said
that
is
got fucked.
McCain is the opposite.
You know why I like the song by Michael Jackson? One of my
What's
favorite
up,
songs.
God?
He's not connected
Ah,
with that
that's
blood line.
God. That's
Okay, you want to know
God.
what? You know
What's
what?
up, God?
You want to know what one of my favorite songs is by Michael Jackson?
Smooth Criminal.
They don't give a fuck
What's up,
about
C-Mac?
us.
Well, Mike made that when he made that when he finally bought the 51% of Sony, when
That's
dude
right.
was trying to fuck with him, and he remember he called him the devil. Michael Jackson called him the devil out loud in front of everybody. Like, don't fuck with him. That nigga's a devil. He told all of them people in the music industry. He told them, and dude had him whacked. You remember? Mike was on stage. I still got it. I can go on YouTube right now and pull it up.
I
Yeah.
owned it. I own the
Hold on,
DVD.
man.
I own the DVD.
Yeah.
And this is it DVD.
Right.
Where you been, Keys? What's going on with you,
Yeah,
man?
sure, I got some. You still send me your cut? Yeah, no, send me your cup. I'll give her some.
What's up, C-Mac?
Is that infamous?
Yes,
No,
it
man,
is.
you always kissing ass.
What you talking about?
You always say that. Every time he say that, is that infamous?
Man, I've been trying to see what's going on with infamous.
You like this? I
We
got
ruffle feathers for some reason.
I got to get another cord for it.
What type of cord does it take? Type C?
Infamous, you in Arizona, right?
Wait. Oh, I
Yes,
got to look
sir.
up.
What part?
Yes.
Because I have Type C charger.
Near Phoenix. Well, not near Phoenix. I'm not in Phoenix
Oh, no,
though.
that's okay.
Okay, well just let me know when you want to
I'm in
My
use it.
son
Tucson.
is out there. That's why I'm asking you.
Yep,
I'm in
no
Tucson.
problem.
Oh, you're in
Let me check
Tucson.
that
Okay.
too.
Yeah, my
Mm-hmm.
son is out there.
Where's he at?
Shit, I think he's closer to Scottsdale.
No, yeah, he's in like Phoenix. It's like 2 hours away from me.
Or he's in
Two.
Phoenix. How close is Phoenix?
Phoenix is well. Phoenix has Scottsdale. It has all the little breaks apart, but it's pretty big. Phoenix is
Yeah,
2 hours from me.
yeah, he talking about leaving up out of there. I'm trying to convince him to stay.
It's hot. It's hotter than a mofo out here. Let me tell you, it is so hot out here right now.
You wearing your Daisy Dukes?
You know it.
Are you
Oh
staying
man,
in the
that's the
gym?
best feeling in the world, man. I swear to God. To get a hug
You
from
don't
my
have
daughter
to
is
here.
the best feeling in
You
the
sweat it
world.
out just going outside. So
You don't work out?
I walk everywhere. I do a lot of walking. I walk a lot of places.
Okay.
I've been walking for years. Like, I like
Man, there
walking. It's good
your ass
self
go
reflection.
again. There you go.
Good self reflection time for me.
What key he's talking about?
I'm talking about your ass, man. There you go.
What about
He's
me?
talking about how we're all connected, like interconnected. You
Oh,
know the
she
usual.
trying to cover up for you, God.
What you talking about?
You kissing ass all the time.
What the hell you talking about kissing ass? I'm kissing ass. Uh, wait, I'm kissing ass because I'm talking to a female.
What did you do when you first came on the page? Oh, is that? Ooh, how you doing? I ain't knocking your hustle now. Don't get me
No, wait a
wrong.
minute, wait. How is that kissing ass acknowledging the female?
Yeah, you was kissing ass, God. If we put
How?
this in the book of game, you was kissing ass.
Please
And that's
explain
why
that
she
to me.
laughing, because she know you was doing it. And I bet she puckered up too.
Explain it to me,
Stop
Keith.
I can't explain it because I don't experience it.
Explain it to me.
I can't explain what I don't experience. I just know what I see.
Explain it to me.
Your lips, her booty, you kissing ass.
Man, you ain't making sense.
That's because you ain't got none.
You gotta explain it to me, man.
What language are you speaking, God?
English. I
Nah,
think
I
you
don't know.
Messing
understand.
with you. I'm just messing with you.
Proper English.
I don't know what he speaks.
I'm just fucking with you, guys. You know I'm just fucking with you, man.
Wait a minute, kissing that.
Hey, look, did he have any lip gloss on when he was kissing that ass, or was it just a...
Oh man, that nigga was puckered up. He had on paint. He ain't had no lip gloss on. That nigga had on paint. That nigga wanted to make a print.
What was coming with this bullshit, man?
That's why her name Booty Cheeks now.
Shut up.
See, Mike, what's going on, Jack?
I'm trying to figure it out.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that's usually what happens after you leave one of them parties like that.
Oh, you done been to the Diddy thing. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. You been Diddying it. You done did the Diddy. They tell you just do the Diddy if you want to, cause then I can see you if I want to. Just do the Diddy if you want to. Oh, you did the Diddy, huh?
Hey, what are we talking about, man?
Hey, that's a cold one, Key. That's a cold one.
Man, that nigga did the Diddy. He wanted to. I said, play duty diddy if you want to, cause then I can see you if I want to. Just do the diddy if you want to, cause then I can see you if I want to. You going to court?
That's Paperboy.
Yeah, man. Put that down, man.
I bet he was a paper boy. He was getting that paper from that Diddy.
Hey, can I ask an intelligent question?
If you intelligent enough to ask an intelligent question.
What the fuck the topic is?
You ain't catch that. You ain't catch that. Man, come on, C-Mac. I know you catch that.
Lights, camera,
What
action.
the topic? What the topic is, man? For real.
Trump and him doing his strikes over there in Iran and talking about what they're after over there in Iran.
Yeah, because they said they had mass destruction weapons and all that shit.
Oh, see, now you going off into a whole nother page. That ain't what they looking for.
You better,
Yes,
they're
they
looking for the
are.
land. They want that land. They want the minerals and precious metals in the land.
No, they said the man had weapons, just like Bush did. Bush say they got mass
Who got weapons?
destruction.
Who got weapons?
No, they trying to say that the
Who is
boy
the
got.
man? You said they said the man had weapons. Who is the man they said had weapons?
They trying to say that the Iranian has a weapon.
Yeah,
Nuclear
they have
weapons.
Yes,
uranium.
exactly.
That's their weapon. Uranium. You use uranium, you can build you a destructive weapon. So I'm gonna invade Iran so I can take all of their uranium.
Okay. Hey,
Where
I
you
know.
think you getting your oil from?
Hey, I don't think Champ agree with you.
What you mean? What?
See, he tried to throw a baseball at you. He wants you to hit that bat up out the park, but I'm gonna let you go on here and ride with him.
No. I know that Champ don't agree with what you just said.
About what?
They over there trying to take the uranium.
What it
Well,
is, but Trump's been trying to make deals with all the countries, saying, "Give me 50% of your land."
Iran, uranium, Iran, like that does.
And you just said he's not gonna agree with me, right? Remember you said that.
You think about this now. Think about this, man. The name of the place is Iran. Iranian. The people that live in there are Iranians. The shit to build nuclear weapons is called uranium.
Let's get him one more time. Hit it with the right.
Iran, right. You ran
Back.
left. You know what I'm saying?
Uppercut.
It's a,
Oh, you get.
yeah. Get up there with the
You just got your ass kicked again, man.
put it up there with the Barry Bun ball.
Don't fuck with me. I am God.
Yeah, man. I know. I'm gonna tell you. I see, man. Think about this though. You gotta remember why them places look so deserted. They spend all their money on military and bunker building and stuff like that. You know what I'm
If it
saying?
looks deserted, you ain't gonna want to go there. So that's where I'm gonna keep everything at where you ain't gonna want to go because it looks deserted.
Exactly. Them places over there, they some of the richest people in the world. You gotta understand why would the richest people in the world, you know what I'm saying, choose that's what they want to show you. You know what I'm saying? They want to show you all that desert and stuff so you don't think about it. So you don't believe it. So you don't want to hear it. It's got to be pimping. They want a salute. You understand what I'm saying? But it's a lot to this, man. You know what I mean? It's a lot to what's happening, and people don't understand. Like, they in the media push one issue when it's really another issue. You know what I'm saying? They make you think it's this, and when it's that. I remember, when my uncles was out there. I think what was that? Baghdad. What was that back in the day? Baghdad, or when they were doing all that Baghdad and shit.
Yep.
The news was telling what was going on like 2 weeks, 2-3 months after it happened. They wasn't telling you what was going on right then. That shit, man, the motherfuckers been dropped that bomb. You know what I'm saying? Been dropped it. You know what I mean? So, you gotta always remember, like, they push narratives. Like, right now we in a situation where Trump gonna let us know it ain't gonna be like it was back in the day. They don't tell us nothing. Trump pretty much, he letting us know more than anybody I've ever seen in office He's been real informative with the people of America, man. Like really, really, like, you know, straight up forward. That's all I see. I don't really see nothing else right now, man. I just see somebody being completely honest, as much as he could possibly be. I'm pretty sure everybody got to tell a lie. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see no I don't see a motherfucker trying to big word a situation and diverting you into believing this that someone is not. This is one of the most vocal presidents I ever seen. You know what I'm saying? As far as somebody just telling you play by play what's happening and showing you. He's showing you how these people think, showing you what they doing, telling you what's going on and why. You know, or you know, it's called a white lie, huh? Yeah, you know, white lie, black lie, yellow lie, brown lie, jack lie, queen lie, king lie. You understand what I'm saying? It's how, you know, it goes down. But yeah, them white lies supposed to be the innocent lies. That's why white lies. a white lie ain't supposed to hurt you that bad, you know. But you know what I'm saying? That's neither here nor there. We got to recognize, man, it's a lot to this, and they need to be honest about why they want us to go over there and soldiers die for this cause. And see, that I think the world would be better if they'll open up and just tell us the facts. You know what I'm saying? But they put race. It's so many small minds out there. They stuck in racism. They stuck in bigotry. They stuck in, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just can't be like that. It's enough land in this world that we are in. It's enough land for everybody to have, you know, 10,000 acres to themselves. It's enough land. They want us in this small bubble, a group of people, to where they can feed us crumbs out their hands while they have a whole loaf. They want us at this level to where they can step on us and minimize us at any given time, and there's nothing we can do about it. That's where they want.
You are nothing to me.
You are nothing. You are nothing but a vote. They showing you in LA right now. You ain't shit but a vote. You ain't shit but a vote. That's all they showing you right now. Them Democrats out there, they ain't fighting because they think that shit wrong. They up there fighting for a vote. Them motherfucking trash ass Maxine Waters, that fucking trash bass.
Say it again. Say it again, God. Say it again.
People don't give a damn about them fucking. They want them fucking illegal alien votes. They don't give a fuck about them damn illegal aliens like that.
All they want is office spots.
Yeah, they want them office. Maxine Waters, fucking scarecrow ass, been in there selling her people out since she's been in office.
Ever since. I'm talking about since the beginning.
Since the beginning, since she's been in office, she a sellout. That bitch ain't shit. And these motherfuckers sitting up here, they got these people really thinking that it's a man. It ain't, man. Are you fucking kidding me? They locked the doors on that.
Once I really opened up my eyes and I seen that shit, I'm like, man, these motherfuckers just fucking the shit out of us.
Well, Maxine Waters is a motherfucker who sold all them prison systems. She built them prison systems for them fuckers out there.
Thank you. It got her name on it.
Yeah. All them niggas you see now. All the Mexicans, all the niggas you see saying damn near.
You going to prison because of her, because she wants to keep her company alive. You just got pulled over all because you just probably didn't stop at a red light, but they done locked your ass up. Know why? Because she needs some money.
Man, listen, if you are in a California prison and you from LA, instead of you being reformed at a young age, all them niggas that be on these shows be talking from LA, do all this prison time, they all start with YA. They all start with this vicious, brutal juvenile system. Everybody got the same story. I ain't heard not one story.
It all comes. Exactly.
It's all the same
now,
shit.
You got to ask yourself, why does everybody have that same beginning?
Same beginning. Everybody got the same beginning. They in a motherfucking 2-dimension world. You understand what I'm saying? There's no way. Damn,
That means
millions.
I'm capitalizing on you to lock you up. So
Yeah.
I'm capitalizing on you. I got you right here up in this section. Oh yeah, I can do what I want to do with you. Come on, you about to make me some money. Get pulled up. Go ahead, run a light. Don't jaywalk, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
And you know they big on that shit over there.
Big time.
That's
Big
why they
time.
going up in flames right now. Because God don't like ugly.
Man, they sit up there. They got bass over there for the LGBTQ new scum for the undercover motherfuckers and damn trash back. No Vaseline vaccine to keep up the bullshit.
Yeah.
Past 30, 40 years. Man, this is ridiculous. Them people can't see that. All the dope they smoking as high as they get out there, they can't see the fucking plan. But see, that's the whole thing about it too. They keep a motherfucker doped up. So they don't
So they can't. That's why they keep them doped up so they can't see it.
So they can't see it.
Real
Like,
talk. That's why they keep them doped up so you can't see it.
Ain't no
They
fucking.
the real Diddy. They the real Diddy. Diddy is like, goddamn it, a spectacle of that. That's why he ain't gonna get locked up. He gonna come right back home. I told y'all he has to go through his humiliation. Remember I told you that a long time ago? That's his initiation into Illuminati. That's his initiation. Yep, you're gonna go through this, and you're gonna go through it for as long as we want you to. And after you come through it, then you'll be a part of us. Watch when he come back, his record company be bigger than ever.
You talking about Pete Diddy?
Yep. His record company gonna be bigger than ever.
Nah, at this level, he gonna have to get into like porn or something. You know what I'm saying? Like they done.
Everybody that's been in it gonna have to get into porn. So now that's what the industry about. I'm talking about look at the music industry. It's been slowly becoming that if you really look at it.
Well, yeah, it's been doing that the past 30 years for sure.
Yeah, he's just gonna be one of the pioneers of it. Once he get out, he gonna be one. And trust me, all them people still gonna rap for him. They still gonna party with him. All of them that's been doing it, they still gonna do it. Cause first of all, once he beat it, everybody gonna get up with him, and that's gonna be the biggest party. He beat this shit. Y'all was lying. Nigga, and then all y'all about to go back there and show y'all behind as soon as y'all say y'all was lying. Because they can't bring them up on any charges. Everybody said, yeah, I agreed to have the freak off with him. Ain't nobody said that I did something against my will. Now they said, they a couple of them say, oh well, there was a couple times I didn't want to do it, but for the most part, the majority out of 50 times, you only said no 2 times. You nigga, you like that shit.
Come on.
You did all of y'all.
Out of 50 times, you said no twice. Yeah, you love it, bitch.
Yeah, thank you. And then you got your text saying that you want to do the shit. All of y'all that been in court, y'all, they pulled up y'all text messages. All of y'all, out of 50 times, only once or twice, you said you wasn't with it. And he didn't even force you. He said, if you look at the text, why you ain't fucking with me today? That's basically what he said. He didn't say, you got to do it or else. Nope. Y'all can't get him on that. All you can gonna get him, what you gonna say, he's a fag and he's a freak. You can't lock him up for being a fag and a freak.
Yep, that ain't illegal.
You did. That's all I'm saying. And for all of y'all that's trying to come with the underage shit, y'all don't got nobody that was underage in that courtroom.
Yeah, and like I said, like that shit right there, that shit right there alone was disgusting. to sit up there and try to put that type of tag on him, knowing that was some bullshit.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He has to go. All he doing is he going through his initiation of humiliation. That's a step into what he's doing. The nigga know what he's doing. Why you think he ain't hung himself? Even Kanye went to court just to look at him. Oh yeah, Puff, I already know you about to beat this dog. We billionaires. You already know we got too much money.
Kanye West still sells Sean John. Kanye West still he sell Puffy merchandise on his website.
Exactly. And thank you. People don't get that.
Yeah, Kanye West sell Puffy merchandise on his website.
Yeah, a lot of people don't get that. I'm like, man, y'all not seeing what's really going on. But then, like that, like I said, that's the underlay for the overplay. That's the underlay for the overplay of what Trump doing. Remember, I told y'all a long time ago, they gonna do some shit over here, but then they gonna tell you, oh, but look at him, look at what he doing. Remember I said that?
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works. Now, during all of this, though, this is what's about to happen to your money. During all of this, your money, you're not going to have any more actual money to have a transaction with. You're not going to be able to give nobody $2 or $3 no more. You're not going to be able to give nobody no change no more. No, why? Because all of your money, at least after, I would say after December, all of your money will only be on the card. You will not have any more paper money. You will not have any more coins. After that, give it about 3 more years, then you're going to have a barcode tatted on your wrist or implanted in your wrist, and that's going to be the way that you spend your points. Your money becomes points now. It's no longer money anymore. It's points that you're worth. And guess what? It's all going to start from your Social Security number. Don't believe me? Please don't believe me. Just do your research.
Yeah, they got a
It was in a Time magazine way back up in I would say maybe 89 to maybe 90. They had the whole discussion up in their magazine. And I read it. I'm like, hold on, these motherfuckers crazy than a bit. But that's what they doing. Your money is not going to be on the card. Give it, like I said, give it about 2 or 3 years. You will not use a card for your money anymore. You will scan your wrist. It's going to become the key to your house. It's going to become it's going to be access to your everything. The way you unlock your car, you're going to have to scan your wrist by it. This car belongs to him. Don't believe me. Please don't believe me. Do your research.
You think that how long you think this thing will last? I know they said they gave him a 2-week diplomatic grace, for them to figure things out. What you think the end game, what this is like? You have you heard about the gold dome?
The who?
Uh,
What you say? Have I heard about the what?
the golden dome, the golden shield.
No, I ain't heard about that. Enlighten.
Okay, so if you remember around the beginning of the year, beginning of the year, they were saying they was trying to get Canada to join America.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so Canada, you know, they declined the offer, and so you know, recently, like in the past month or so, Trump announced that they they have a golden shield. It's a golden dome that protects America from any missiles, you know, flying in and things of that nature.
He gonna have to be good with that one.
Yeah, so the golden dome cost a certain amount of money. You know what I'm saying? And if I ain't
Yeah,
mistaken, it was in
because
the hundreds of billions to have, but they were saying that
you talking about
they,
when he was trying to join the Americas.
no, this is what I'm saying. And so listen,
Nah,
Canada
man.
declined initially. Now that
Not at all.
America's saying they're gonna have it, and they saying they'll
Where'd
offer it
everybody
to
go?
Canada.
Right.
They saying they'll offer it to Canada for free if they you know join the they
Oh
join.
wow.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Canada,
I think
Canada,
Canada probably gonna take that deal.
yeah, they started to open up because I think it costs like it's like 60 billion or 60 trillion to have it. It's somewhere. It's a wild number that Canada just can't afford to produce you know, constantly.
Yeah.
And also
That's why I say if they gonna have to join the Americas, you'll have to join South America with Central America in order to pull that off. All of them would have to join it, and then
well, well, you gotta understand, you know, this is the United States. You
right.
understand?
This is only see the United States is part of
America,
North America.
yeah,
The
exactly.
United States is not America itself. It's a part of America.
It's part of America. Yeah.
Canada is probably the biggest. Canada and Brazil is the biggest two parts of America you can find.
Well, the whole thing about it, Canada it's all connected, but it's not technically it's not America.
Right.
It's all
Technically, it's not the USA. It's not the USA.
yeah, exactly.
But
But
the
it's all
USA is only United States of America.
yeah. See that's
And
the whole
then
that's the whole
see
thing.
that's where governors get their power from. A governor, like say if I was the governor of Illinois, I can tell Trump, fuck you. I don't even want to be a part of you no more. Because we United States. As long as I don't want to unite, fuck you. I can go be part of Canada if I want to. That's where governors have power at.
That's
But the
if they,
president,
that's if
his power comes in keeping all of them together.
that's if they succeed. You gotta succeed. That state has to succeed itself. Like you can't just do it like that. It gotta be a
Nigga,
like
any governor have to do is say I want to be a part of Canada and get Canada to back them up. Trump can't do nothing about it. I'm serious. Even if they want to become a part of Southern America or Central America, they can say, fuck you, I'm not connecting with you no more. Why you think, remember, they just made Puerto Rico, you know what I'm saying, a part of America, right? But now you see how Puerto Rico took their independence back?
Puerto Rico's still America, man.
It's still a part of it, right? But they taking I'm talking about they took their independence back. So you can't call them one of the states no more. It's a part of America, but it's not one of the states. You cannot call it a state of America no more. You used to be able to call it a state 3 years ago, but you can't do it no more.
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
I'll check that out.
Anytime you are a governor of any state, you can actually free yourself away from America if you want to. But you have to have somebody to back you up. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got nobody to back you up, you ain't gonna be able to do it. Like right now, Florida right now could say, man, fuck America, fuck the United States. We're part of South America right now. New Mexico could do it. California, any state that has a governor can do that, literally, because it's called the United States. They are united. As long as you are united, you are one country. But once you become ununited, you're not no country. The president's job is to keep the states united. That's all his job is. He don't do shit else. He just keep the states united. That's it. That's every president's job that's ever been a president, is to keep these states united. Because if one of those governors say, man, fuck you, we breaking off, they lose. That's why I wish I would have been a governor, especially of Chicago. Nigga, give me a Illinois. Nope, we got the middle part of the motherfucking country, nigga. Nope, we ain't no part of y'all. We're a part of Canada. Dip down, bitch. I'll make you get a big ass whip in front of your ass. And that's why each state has a governor, because it governs that state. A governor, it governs that state to keep that state along with that president. It has to talk to the president. Every governor, the only step above a governor is president. Period. Period. Fuck Congress. Fuck goddammit the Senate. President. That's the only thing above me. If I'm the governor, if I want to say, man, hey y'all, fuck them. We ain't no part of them no more. We going over here. I can do that. But I'm going to have me an ally to say that they want me to come with them. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, then you bring national government in. But as long as I got me another country to back me up, I don't care what state I got. Man, I can have Ohio. I can have got whatever, Alabama. Hey, I don't want to be a part of this no more. Hey, y'all gonna back me up? Yup. Fuck y'all, dude. We ain't no part of y'all no more. Y'all can't come up in this jurisdiction no more. Literally, they can do that. A governor can do that. Don't believe me. Don't, please, everybody that's on this panel, don't believe me. Just do your own research. And if you can prove me wrong, please come back and do so. Because I love to learn.
Yeah, they definitely got some different situations going on, man. I know China. I know
Man,
China
gonna fuck us up. If China get mad enough, they gonna fuck us up.
Well, how can you say that?
If China get mad enough, they gonna fuck us up. They already got way more power than we got. China only tolerates America. A lot of people don't get that. And Trump is pissing them off. Trump is pissing them off with them tariffs.
Are you serious?
Pissing them people off.
You really think China could fuck with us?
Hell yeah. They got 10 people to every one man. They will fuck us up.
Let me tell you something. Don't never.
Now, you talking about technology-wise. Now, technology-wise, America may have a hand over China. But as far as manpower, no. China will fuck us up.
Listen, it ain't no need to talk about manpower because we'll never be on land together to do all that. But what I'm saying is that military wise, man, ain't nobody fucking with this. The United States.
Where do you think we get all our military power from?
Listen.
Whatever gun you got, look at it and look it up and look at where it's made at.
Listen.
I don't care what pistol you got. Look it up. Look it up. Go on YouTube right now. Look it up and look at where it's made at. That's it. That's all I want you to do.
Let me tell you something. If you got a gun that shoot one bullet, and I got a nuclear weapon or laser that can destroy dozens of miles at one time, I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you. What I'm saying is that
over there, man. Do your flat Earth map. Do your flat Earth map.
Okay.
You see how close that is?
China ain't close to us, man.
Do your flat Earth map. Do your flat Earth map. Do your flat Earth map.
Listen, on the flat Earth map, you gotta go through Greenland and shit like that. All kind of shit. You gotta go through Russia to get to China.
No, you don't. That's if you traveling north.
Man, ain't no damn
but if you travel west, you don't got to do that. You talk about traveling north. China is west of us, right? All they got to, east of us. All they have to do is travel west, and they ain't got to go but about what? 60, 70 miles. Man, they right there.
If you book a ticket to China,
it's a part. Asia is a part of India, right? We got India, we got Asia, which is China, right?
God,
you got India, you got Asia, which is China, right? Which ain't nothing but no more than about at the most probably 300 miles away from America.
Man, listen to what I'm saying.
If you do a flat Earth,
listen to what I'm saying. If you book a flight, let's say you book a flight from New York.
That's because they're gonna take you in that one direction. They don't take you the other way.
One direction. I'm telling you I'm telling you, flat Earth and real life shit. If you book a flight from Florida to Hong Kong, you got to go through. It ain't gonna take you like from Florida to damn Europe to Asia. You got to go through. You
Africa.
No. You
gotta pass Africa in order to get to China, right?
This is what I'm saying. Hold on before you speak. This is what I'm saying. Real life talk. This ain't no bullshit. If you catch a flight from Florida to Hong Kong or China, you gotta go through. You gonna fly over Canada, Greenland, and Russia to get there.
So they're gonna take you north, then.
It's only one way to go.
That's going north. That's not going. Actually, you suppose if you're going to go to China from America, if you flat earthing, you should only travel east. You should not have to go north. You should only go east. If you flat earthing.
Man, listen.
So where that north part come from?
If you're not flat earthing, you can't go north. Because you go to the North Pole.
You just said you have to go through Greenland. Greenland is north of America.
Man, flat Earth.
Greenland is north of America. It's not south, it's north. You get colder when you go up there. You're going to go through all of them ice packs, all of that.
On the flat Earth, that's how on the map, that's what it is, period. I'm saying to you, if you book a flight from Florida, they're going to take you through Greenland,
like you said, they gonna take me north. They're not gonna take me east. They're gonna take me north. So therefore, you telling me that the Earth is round?
Man, yeah, it's a round, flat space. That's what I'm telling you. This Earth world we in right here is a round, flat space. Yeah, that's
inside of a dome.
I don't know about the dome.
It's like that thing that you get on Christmas. You know how you shake it up and it make the snow come down. It's kind of like that.
It's called a firmament. It's not a dome. It's a firmament. But yeah, inside the firmament, yeah. Yeah, it's exactly what I'm saying. But like I
Well,
said though,
actually, to me, I would say it's round, and it's like the earth is the yolk of the egg. The firmament is the white of the egg. To me, that's to me. The reason I say that is because I look at my whole body. I am not flat. I am round. I have a front. I have a side. I got a up, a down. You know what I mean? I have it all around me, and I feel if I made this way, my mother, which is the earth, has to be made the same way. Maybe it's not a perfect sphere, but trust me, it's not just a flat land. The land is flat wherever you walk at it, but trust me, you're going around something. You dig what I'm trying to convey?
yeah,
It's weird. You know me, and you gonna always have you know what I'm saying, debates about that. And I love it because I learn more and more every time I talk to you. And that's a beautiful thing to me. You dig what I mean? Because you just made me look at the world when you just described where you going. You just made me visualize in my mind, you know what I'm saying, what the world is, you know what I'm saying, what the world is like. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. You gotta look at it like this. When when they did that map, they made Africa smaller so the white areas could seem like they were bigger.
Yeah, yeah. But Africa is the biggest piece of land on the face of the earth.
On the face of this earth, Africa is the biggest piece of land.
The biggest
That's,
piece of land on the face of the earth. But one
Mhm.
thing that I find curious about the earth is, and this the whole my whole thing with life itself. Um, how, and this is what makes me, I guess, comes to terms with what people will call chaos. It makes me come to terms with it. Like I can now respect. Okay, if somebody get killed or violent, I can still respect the universe for that, for taking their life that way, because the one thing in life that we know for sure is life has to destroy life in order to sustain life. Look at the animal kingdom, look at the plant kingdom, look at the insect kingdom, then you take it to humanity. You know what I mean? Even the earth itself. When we die, what the earth do? It eats us up just to sustain itself. So life itself is the good and evil that everybody was talking about. That's the God and the devil itself. And nobody gets that. It's weird, ain't it?
that sounds right.
But
But
it's weird though, ain't it? I'm talking. That's my mind. That's the way I think, and I look at shit like that.
yeah, but as high, so below. You know what I'm saying?
And yeah, oh, you just said $1 million worth of shit right there. You just said $1 million worth of shit right there. A lot of people won't even get that. And I'm talking about y'all that's checking in and paying attention. I hope y'all get what he just told y'all. The simplest way I can tell y'all is this way. How he said it, as above, so below. That's basically as the mind thinketh, so the body will follow. But as above, so below is actually when you say your prayer. Remember, as it is in heaven, so it is on earth. So whatever you doing on earth, guess what? That's going on in heaven right now. All y'all think y'all gonna go to heaven, it's gonna be peaceful. Hell no, nigga, you gonna go through bullshit right there too, because as above, so below. The weirdest talk, but it's the truth. And for the record, I am God. I should know.
No, it was like I said, man. You got Raiders of the Lost Ark, all that kind of shit, all
Yeah,
that type of stuff. Yeah, that's what I be talking about when I be speaking on Iran and stuff, like all that type of shit going down out there. Like,
yeah, they better know that for sure. Hell yeah. That's really good. You not lying. All of that shit is really going down, but they keep it low key. They don't advertise that. Because if they advertise it, then the world goes in an uproar. And if the world is in an uproar, you can't control anybody. You have to think strategically like these people do.
yeah, gotta get deeper, man. Gotta get deeper. When you look at this situation, man, I think that I just think that I just feel like it's a lot more to this than they tell. And when I seen all the missiles coming up out them caves, man. It had like 30,000
Yeah,
missiles
that
coming
shit
out.
looking crazy than a motherfucker.
Man, what the hell? If that type of shit coming out, man, they got a whole man, please, man.
Yeah, that means they got a whole super artillery if they just showing that.
If they just showing that, man, let me tell you something. You can bomb everything out there. It ain't fucking with that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man,
ain't no
motherfuckers.
bomb. Yeah, ain't no bomb gonna reach. Ain't no bomb
Hell
gonna.
no.
Yeah, ain't no bomb gonna reach that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they so low in the ground.
That's what I'm saying. It's so deep up in the earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like these is skyscraper deep. You know what I'm saying? You could put probably about maybe 3 Sears towers up in the depth of where they got their shit buried at. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And people don't get there. No, why you think you? Oh, we just discovered these new underground caves. You ain't just discovered shit, nigga. Y'all built them bitches.
That part.
Bullshit ain't about nature. Man, you ain't finna piss on me and tell me it's raining, homie.
Yeah, what they did, I will say this: what they did was they just modified them. You know how like apartments, like from the
Yeah, that's
30s.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, them caves was there. Don't get it fucked up. They was there, but they put the concrete, made them wider and bigger. You know, that type of shit. That's what I'm saying. All they money go into military war, and that goes up
And
under
that's
that.
where they buried all the books that we want to
Yeah,
read.
that's why all. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, it's a whole lot of game in them caves. It's a whole lot of game in them caves.
You ain't
You
lying. And that's what I tell everybody that think they the best pimp in the world. Nigga, you ain't no best pimp if you ain't got your own government. That's the best pimp in the world. A motherfucker that can write some shit on a piece of paper and sign their name and make everybody agree to it. That's a cold ass pimp. But that's all they did to take over the country. Every country in the world did that. All they did was sign their name on a piece of paper and everybody agreed to it. Like that's why I say we should be able to say us as black folks, we should all be able to write our name on a piece of paper and say, fuck y'all, we us. And we should be our own nation. Because that's what they did. And it was only 13 of them. Don't believe me? Read your Declaration of Independence. All it did was have somebody sign their name on it. And it got them some power. That's crazy to me. And I feel like I should be able to do the same thing. I should be able to get me a piece of paper, say, I ain't putting up with your bullshit right here no more. I ain't putting up with this here no more. I ain't putting up with that no more. Sign my name, Evans God Keys, and it should be respected, and I should become my own entity within myself. I should be my own country. That's what they did. If you want to follow what y'all call the fathers of your nation, that's what they did. All they did was get together. They were some gang banging ass, dirty motherfuckers that didn't even know how to wash their ass. Said, fuck it. We tired of England kicking our ass. Fuck that. We gonna go over here. They was looking for India. That's why they called the Native Americans Indians. Native Americans are not Indians. Indians come from India. They don't come from America. These are Americans. But they're how you, that's an Indian. No, it's not. That's an American. He's native. He's from here. You are an immigrant. You dig what I'm saying? But they don't get that part. Because
we can't hear you, Keys. Your microphone.
I was saying, I'm about to get check out, but if y'all on tomorrow night, hit me up and I'll be on.
All right, so
All
I
right.
see.
All right, God,
All right.
y'all peace.
Peace,
Peace,
girl.
man.
Peace. Man, y'all stay beautiful, man. I miss y'all, motherfuckers. One love.
One
We're gonna trap it.
For sure.
See, Mac, what's going on?
Man, what's good, man? Shit, I'm finna crash out too, man.
It's all good, man. I got another. I'll probably be up here, you know what I'm saying, a little longer. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. I'll get back at you.
All right, so, bro.
All right. Is Infamous still on here too?
When you like to know.
I'll get at
to
you, man.
some diplomats in the region just within the past hour, and I was told there wasn't much of a heads up given to some of our allies there. Just to remind people, Charlie spoke about 40,000 U.S. military personnel in that region of the world. The fourth largest military installation America has in the world is in Kuwait, very close there to Iran. Very significant naval assets in Bahrain. A lot of American families stationed there. So it's not just Israel, it is the surrounding Arab countries that the U.S. is allied with who are holding their breath tonight, wondering if hosting those American forces also makes them a target. So we are going to be watching all those bases that you see there on the screen, as well as some of the other American assets in the region. I also just want to acknowledge here that while the president has been saying this was a successful strike, we don't yet know what the end game is here. We don't know that from the United States, and we don't know that from the nation of Israel either. The goal was stated to be destruction of Iran's nuclear program. Tonight, you have out of Iran statements from their atomic agency saying that this national industry, as they refer to it, will not be stopped. That you can't kill knowledge. There have been, of course, assassinations of nuclear scientists, as we know. We want to go now on the phone. We are joined by General Frank McKenzie, who was the combatant commander there in the Middle East for so many years. General McKenzie, I hope you can hear me now. I know you have literally gamed out this scenario for years when you were in the job. What are those U.S. military families? What are those soldiers and naval men? What are they bracing for tonight? What should we expect with the light of day?
To be with you tonight. I've worked on this plan for 15 years. It looks like a successful strike. As you noted, we'll know more in the hours and days ahead how successful it actually was. But what the Central Command commander right now is most concerned about is the possible Iranian response. What's it going to be? What are they going to do? And a lot of the thinking over the last few days, I'm sure, in the Department of Defense has been how to prepare for that inevitable Iranian response. And so we flowed forces in. We'll be ready for it. What we want to do is avoid a significant loss of American life that would then push us up the escalatory ladder. So we want to save the Iranians from themselves. We want to maintain balance in the region if we can. And that's what the CENTCOM commander is going to be working on right now. I would also note that Iran is gravely weakened as a result of their exchanges with Israel over the past few weeks, and in fact, over the last year or so. So this is a very significant thing to bear in mind as we look at what the Iranians might do in response. The final thing I will say is this. The Iranians have held all the lower cards on the escalation ladder. But the simple fact is this. We hold all the higher cards on the escalation ladder, as does Israel, and the Iranians know that.
Well, General, to that point, I was speaking to an Iran analyst just a day ago who described this regime as homicidal but not suicidal, meaning they would restrain themselves from a head-to-head conflict with the United States. As you just pointed out, they are in such a weakened position because of the conflict over the past year or more. Does that had to have factored in to the calculation tonight? Do you think President Trump is being overconfident if he thinks this is one and done?
I think President Trump actually has unique and powerful credibility on this issue. He noted the strike on Qasem Soleimani, which I really believe was the correct action at the time. I was responsible for carrying out his orders on that strike and really began the arc of the trajectory that has taken us to this point where Iran is on their back foot and in very grave danger of even surviving as a state. So I think that's something to understand as we take a look at it. I think we should remember that the primary goal of Iranian statecraft is preservation of the regime. At different times before, this regime has chosen to step back when faced with the possibility of regime destruction. I think they're rapidly approaching that point right now, and I think this measurably moves us forward to that end.
We have learned here at CBS that there was some advance notice that was on passed to Iran about these strikes. But as I said, there wasn't full diplomatic notice being given to all of the allies in the region. You ran that operation in 2020 when, as you mentioned, Qasem Soleimani was taken off the battlefield. How much visibility does the United States have for what comes next? How good is our intelligence in terms of the threat picture?
Salute shout out to everybody tuning in. Right now, we're just keeping an update on the Iran and U.S.-Israel situation and the retaliation, possibly aftermath.
So, Margaret, our intelligence is very good. Penetration of Iran by human sources and other sources is very good. We're going to have a good feel for what the Iranians are thinking. The other factor that's out there is much Iranian leadership is dead now. And the Iranians have, because of their corrupt system of promoting officers and keeping them in place, they don't have a good succession plan inside their military. So people go into a job and they stay 10, 12, 15 years while they're growing rich from that job. So those people are now dead, but they haven't groomed a successor. So that makes it very hard for the supreme leader to formulate decisions and to transmit those decisions to the Iranian military. And that will further complicate Iranian responses, I believe, in the days and weeks ahead.
Thank you, General. And just to clarify for our audience, as we were talking about the killings of top Iranian officials, many of them have been military leaders. We were showing you a picture there of the supreme leader, we were talking about Qasem Soleimani. We were talking about the supreme leader just now, showing you a picture of him. We do not know his whereabouts at this hour. He has actually not been seen in public for a few days now. He had this video address that we are showing you, but he is at 86 years old, dealing with cancer, and all of our reporting is that he has been very hard to contact. In other words, the top levels of Iranian government aren't sure where their boss is. At this hour, we do not know his whereabouts. When we're talking about succession planning, that is the man, that is the main decision maker from which all things flow. And so this question of what comes next is going to be really important to think about as we look at who else may be able to give orders or not give orders. We want to speak to Samantha Vinograd, who I'm told is joining us as well right now, a national security contributor to CBS. She also joins us on the phone. She was a former assistant secretary for counterterrorism at Homeland Security. And Sam, I know you served before that on the National Security Council as well. There has been so much reporting around the threat in the United States over the past few years, the risk to officials involved with actions against Iran, the risk of sleeper cells here in the United States. When we talk about retaliation, should we be thinking about the homeland?
Margaret, I am deeply concerned about the potential for retaliatory attacks here in the homeland by Iran. Iran's nuclear program has certainly taken a hit. We will await the battleground assessment to understand how deep that hit was. But we do know that Iran is likely going to rely on its asymmetric advantage in this conflict with the United States and Israel, which is its proxies all around the world. Iran has for decades had both intent and the ability to direct and inspire individuals to attack American, Israeli, and Jewish interests and assets all around the world. During my time at Homeland Security, we tracked myriad Iranian threats here in the homeland, as you mentioned, against former government officials involved in the strike against Qasem Soleimani, against dissidents, against journalists, against the Saudi ambassador during the Obama administration, and against everyday Americans. So right now, while Iran has certainly taken a hit to its nuclear program and military installations, it is likely that they will rely on their asymmetric advantage in this context, which is their proxies, to try to send a signal to the United States and to the rest of the world that they just aren't going to take this hit without any kind of response. Now, how significant their reprisals will be is something the intelligence and law enforcement communities are likely looking into, but I am concerned about the threat here in the homeland.
Yeah, I'm looking at an email now from our Homeland Security correspondent, Nicole Skanga, detailing some of the law enforcement officials throughout the country who say they have not yet been given any kind of briefing in regard to possible downstream effects. But as you point out, that doesn't mean there isn't one. In fact, I was speaking to a U.S. official earlier today who said that this administration has shown a higher risk tolerance when it comes to things like this than past administrations. That was in reference to the security of Americans abroad. As we noted there, Sam, it was just earlier today that the U.S. ambassador to Israel announced the details of how to leave Israel right now with U.S. government chartered flights. Is that a little late in the game? If you have an American family member in the region right now, how worried should you be?
Well, Margaret, on your first point, law enforcement and intelligence professionals were already on heightened alert as it pertains to the Iranian threat, just based upon the strikes against Qasem Soleimani and just various Iranian threat streams that were around even when I was at DHS ending in 2023. So while they should get a briefing on downstream effects, they are already very aware of.
As you guys can see, these are locations, of Iran and things of that nature, places, presumably targets or whatnot. You gotta understand, this thing is deeper than we know, deeper than we know. At this point, it's a lot going on that they are not speaking on. But it's going to come out eventually. But I guarantee you, it's a lot of underhand business. Let's get back to it. Subscribe to CBS News. Trump addresses strikes on Iranian nuclear sites, warns Iran to make peace.
Of Iranian capabilities in this context, and likely monitoring social media, encrypted platforms, and other sources to see if they can find any leads on specific threat streams following these military strikes. Now, I will tell you that we have had operational plans to evacuate Americans from the region for years, and certainly post-October 7th. Those operational plans were ready to go, and I was very surprised that they were not implemented sooner based upon Israel strikes against Iran and what we knew to be potential strikes against Americans in the region. As soon as President Trump took the decision to launch these strikes, I would have expected him and his National Security Council to immediately begin to actively evacuate Americans, not just from Israel, but potentially from Lebanon, from Egypt, from Iraq. Iran is obviously more complicated. Just knowing that Iran will be looking for opportunities to harm Americans, whether that's through violence, through kidnapping, through harassment, and otherwise. So it wasn't a question of the operational plans not being ready. It was a question of the State Department deciding to implement those plans, the Department of Defense helping to operate them. And I think that is unfortunately too little too late based upon the cauldron that is the Middle East right now.
Right. Well, those are some cautionary words at this hour, Sam. We know that Americans were ordered out of U.S. mission Iraq a few days ago, but when it came to some of those other posts, there are still plenty of Americans working, living, and many of them with families as well. We're going to continue to track what's happening there in the region. And I want to go now to the White House, where we find White House correspondent Weijia Jiang. Weijia, I know from the rundown here, we saw the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of State, a number of key advisors, including the CIA director. And there has been a very public back and forth that the president has had disputing publicly the findings of the intelligence community when it came to assessing whether or not Iran was actually making a weapon, or whether it was, as the U.S. intelligence community said, wanting to be a threshold state. In other words, give themselves the option to get a weapon, but not actually building one. All of it comes back to that question of why this military action last Thursday and why this action now.
And Margaret, we've been really trying to drill down on that very question during this past week because President Trump gave a very specific timeline. He said that Iran was just weeks away from having a nuclear weapon. And so I asked during the last White House press briefing, Caroline Leavitt, what he meant by that. Did he mean that Iran was getting close to having enough enriched uranium, which is required to build that weapon, to start making a bomb, or is Iran just weeks away from actually finishing the production of a weapon? And she said that it would only take 2 weeks if the supreme leader gave the green light for Iran to have that weapon. And as you pointed out, that contradicts what we have heard from the IAEA, which of course monitors all the nuclear sites around the world, which recently said that Iran was not actively pursuing a nuclear bomb, and also flies in the face of what the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, testified. Now, she did talk about those high levels of enriched uranium. That is very different from saying they actually are close to a bomb. But that is what the president said. That is what this administration said. And so we will be asking for more details because that is so important to answer the why of why now, Margaret.
Yes, and an important question many lawmakers will be raising as well. We know that lawmakers have not been briefed. They are scheduled to be briefed in the House and Senate on Tuesday by the Director of National Intelligence, along with military leaders, on exactly how all of this came about and the justification for it. We know as of this evening that the top leadership in Congress hasn't fully been briefed, or at least the Democrats who are in that so-called Gang of Eight, those who lead the parties in both houses and then also have oversight of the intelligence committees. The Republicans have told CBS that they have been briefed. The Democrats have not. That further, of course, will raise questions about any kind of politics here on such a significant issue of national security. This tonight, no doubt, has been the most significant national security and foreign policy decision the President of the United States has made in this second Trump term. We'll be tracking all of what comes next very closely, and we'll be bringing it to you here on CBS. Our coverage will continue on CBS News 24/7, your local news on this CBS station, and of course, first thing tomorrow on CBS Sunday Morning, and with me on Face the Nation. This has been a CBS News special report. I'm Margaret Brennan in Washington.
Salute. So as you can see, you know, it's a lot going on. A lot going on with that. Let's go to some more news. Oh, so they dropping bunker buster bombs. Let's go to Fox News. What to know about bunker buster bombs, 30 Tomahawk missiles. Subscribe to Fox News.
Here with more details from tonight's very critical strike, along with what we can expect moving forward. Jennifer Griffin, she is in the Pentagon tonight. Jennifer, what's amazing about this, and I did have an opportunity just minutes before coming on the air to speak to the president. We had initially discussed, both of us this week, that it would probably take at the Fordo facility as many as 2 bunker buster bombs. I can confirm it was 6 bunker buster bombs that were used in that one, on that one fortified, deeply buried inside that mountain site, the one that everybody worried about, the one that Israel was not going to be capable of taking out unless they went nuclear.
Well, that's right, Sean. And it's very interesting that the president shared with you that 6 of those MOP, massive ordnance penetrator, the 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs, were used on Fordo. That would mean that you would have had at least 3 B-2 bombers dropping those, because each of the B-2s can carry 2 of those MOP bombs. Based on my assessment and what I know about Fordo, there are 2 entrances to Fordo. So you may have had 2 bunker busters in each of the entrances. The way they work, as we've discussed in the past, Sean, is that one of the MOP bombs drops in and can penetrate about 200 feet underground. It makes about a 25-foot radius hole into the ground. And then the second bomb dropped from the B-2 bomber will penetrate that exact spot and go even further. And Fordo, as we know, is about 300 feet underground. I suspect that the third spot that was hit at Fordo, based on the structure of that facility, that underground nuclear facility in the mountain there, is a ventilation shaft that is very prominent. And if you drop 2 bunker buster bombs of those MOP 30,000-pound bombs through the ventilation shaft, that would be another way to reach deep underground and to ensure that you destroyed that facility 300 feet underground. I think it's also notable, Sean, that the president told you that TLAMs or Tomahawk missiles were used in the strike on Natanz. Natanz also has an underground facility. Those Tomahawks would have been fired, as you mentioned, from submarines that were attached to either the USS Carl Vinson aircraft carrier strike group or the USS Nimitz, which was newly in the region. It had steamed all the way from the Pacific, and we understand that it in the CENTCOM AOR earlier today. So those Tomahawks could be fired from any number of locations from those aircraft carriers. And then you have Isfahan. Isfahan is an above ground site. And so you could have used conventional weapons for that. There could have been the Air Force could have been involved in that, or it could have been simply those Tomahawks. Natanz has 3 underground facilities, so there would have been about 6 points of impact at Natanz. And so we'll just have to wait and see if the B-2s were involved at all in Natanz or Isfahan, but certainly the involvement of Tomahawks, U.S. naval submarines, and those incredible B-2 bombers. What's notable to me, Sean, is that this morning we woke up looking westwards and this was all part of the deception in terms of the operational security for this incredible mission, is that those 6 B-2 bombers that were seen by radar trackers, open source flight trackers, they were heading west towards Guam, we were told. U.S. officials confirmed to us that they were heading to Guam. It's about a third.
Yeah, the Guam and all that, that's on the way to, that's what I was speaking on. That's on the way over there. Like, you know, this is wild, man. You know, to get from here to there, you gotta go north. That's why I was saying that those maps they show is trash. These bunker buster bombs are going deep in the ground and blowing up. Exactly what I was speaking on that they had them. it's it's just crazy that they speaking on a solution to what I was speaking on.
30-hour flight. If they took off from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri and flew directly to Iran, it would be about 30 hours. They would not have made it in time. So it was not those B-2s that were involved in this mission. Most likely what happened is the B-2s also took off to the east. So another squadron took off from Whiteman to the east, and that's about a 15-hour trip to Iran, and they would be on their way back to the United States right now. It's a 30-hour round trip if you fly to the east. And that's where we saw that air refueling bridge that was built earlier in the week, where all those air refuelers, about 30, were sent from the United States to Europe and to the Middle East to help
Jennifer,
with those B-2s. Sean?
Let me give you a little bit more detail. I'm being told now from a reliable source that Fordo, they believe it is gone. They believe that it has been wiped out. And again, we had discussed earlier in the week the possibility of not one but two bunker buster bombs. Again, 30,000-pound bombs being necessary to take out that one deeply buried facility. I can put clarification on Natanz and Esfahani, the other two facilities that you were referencing and discussing. The 30 Tomahawks from a submarine over 400 miles away took out the remainder of the sites. It was believed, the assessment was that the Israelis had taken out about 75% of those sites. So it was basically completing the mission that had begun with Israel on those other two locations, just to give you clarification.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. But truly, the fact that 30 Tomahawks were fired from the U.S. naval vessels, from those submarines. Again, this just shows the strength and the ability and the precision of the U.S. military. And there's no doubt tonight, in my mind, Sean, that President Xi in Beijing and President Putin in Moscow are taking note of the U.S. military capabilities and what tiny Israel has been able to accomplish in the last 10 days. So this is really a very, very significant night in terms of what the mission accomplished. But as we have discussed, what comes next? And the U.S. military is warning its personnel across the Middle East. There are 40,000 troops across the Middle East at bases in Syria, Iraq, as well as in the Gulf states. And they are now on high alert, expecting some sort of response from Iran. Now, if Iran were smart, and it's not clear that they are, they would not respond. And they would then try to negotiate in order to save their regime. But if they do something like mine the Strait of Hormuz or try to take a shot at any of those U.S. Navy vessels or manage to fire any missiles at U.S. bases or kill any American personnel, then this will escalate a lot further. This has the potential to end right now if the Iranians do not respond. Sean?
A couple of things that you're saying, Jennifer, and you get to follow the greatest, best military that God ever gave man, and the bravest of the brave. And you're right. And every single military effort brings with it danger, and you have to game out and calculate out what the potential response might be. Obviously, they are prepared for that. In the lead up to this, we know a lot of people had been evacuated. A lot of people had been warned. The president himself was warning the people in Tehran to get out of Tehran and give them an opportunity. As he said, he doesn't have a problem with the people of Iran, but they were never going to have nuclear weapons. We went back and looked. The first time he said that was in 2011. And he had been very, very consistent in his statement about that. And, other early indications, too, is that he gave them, there was a little note at the end of his statement tonight that he's willing to discuss peace again. And then that creates now a dilemma, once again, for the supreme leader of Iran. Will he remain stubborn to the point where their refineries will be targeted next, where their gas grid will be targeted next, and they'll have no power if they take out the refineries, they'll have no economy in Iran. So big decisions on their part tonight, things they should be thinking about if they're thinking about any retaliation. Jennifer Griffin, we'll get back to you. We appreciate your report, and God bless our military. Incredible feat that they were able to accomplish tonight.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hot.
Yeah, it's a lot happening. Let's check out some more news on what's going on. All right, let's go to some of that Diddy news. P. Diddy drug mule takes stand with tense testimony. Subscribe to Law and Crime Network.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So we have with us Elizabeth Milner, Law and Crime's in-court reporter, who's been there every day for the action, every day of testimony. And we have so many questions coming in now for Elizabeth. Elizabeth, really good to see you. Before I even go to the more substantive questions, let me give you some praise that we got here. This is from Morty von Eltberg. Thank you. Please let Jesse know if he's ever in Atlanta. I would love to have a cocktail or 12 with him. Also, you all are amazing. That's very sweet. Gene Sluter says, I want my own Jesse and Elizabeth to break down everything in my life for me. Well, that is just disaster. I don't think you want that, but it's very, very kind. All right. So we got the first question from Fabiola Delgado Lebron. Queen Elizabeth, did the defense look stressed during testimony?
Not one bit. I personally didn't think that they seemed stressed during today's testimony, especially once Brendan Paul got on the witness stand. I was kind of thinking that the testimony overall would go one direction, especially given the lawsuit. But given that we saw him kind of testify today, it didn't even go the way I kind of thought it was going. And that's one of the biggest things about this case specifically is you think it's going to go in one direction, then it goes into another direction. So from what I could tell, the defense didn't seem stressed. And I don't want to say that they didn't seem stressed and like they were so like calm, cool, and collective in an arrogant way. It was nothing like that. But it seems like, especially as we're kind of getting towards the end of trial here, that they don't seem as stressed as maybe people may think they are. But again, you know, we never know what's going on through their heads and that type of sort. But from what I could tell, they seem kind of still, you know, pretty surface level as far as just the feelings of emotions from what I could tell sitting inside the courtroom.
Question from Denise Lopez. Elizabeth, how was the tension in the room when Brendan Paul testified? And did he make eye contact with Diddy?
I didn't think that there was going to be a tense moment between the two, especially given kind of the demeanor it's been with other assistants testifying. And so because Diddy wasn't present when Brendan Paul got his immunity deal outside of the presence of the jury, I thought there might be kind of a big moment where maybe Brendan Paul didn't even want to look in Diddy's direction while he kind of approached the witness stand. But from what I could see of him, Diddy did kind of what he normally does when maybe a compelling witness might come up and testify, as he kind of turned around in his defense chair and he kind of watched Brendan Paul take the witness stand. But I couldn't feel like necessarily a tense atmosphere as opposed to maybe when Jane was testifying or even as far as when Cassie was testifying. But from what I could tell, even when Brendan Paul got off the witness stand, I think he kind of looked in Diddy's direction. I don't think there was kind of like a, just like a nod to one another, a smile to one another from what I could see. But it didn't feel as tense as maybe I thought it was going to be when he entered the courtroom.
So I have two questions for you that are very similar. They're about Sean Combs, because you are our eyes and ears. There are no cameras in that courtroom. There is no audio equipment in that courtroom. But listen to this from Joe Lucas. Elizabeth, great reporting. Feels like I'm there. I mean, what better compliment can you get than that? So Joe Lucas asks, what is Diddy's demeanor like today as it's coming up to the end of the prosecution's case? And RD asks, Elizabeth, have you seen Combs look at the jury much since he got in trouble? Remember, he did get in trouble with the judge after a really, I would say, beneficial moment of cross-examination of a key witness in this case. He was accused of nodding at the jury. So what's his demeanor like? And has he been looking at the jury?
Well, I'll take the second question first. Yes, I did see him kind of looking over towards the jury's direction today during testimony, but not kind of as animated as maybe he has been in the past as far as nodding goes and all of that stuff. I really just kind of think I saw him just looking in their direction, maybe to get, maybe what their demeanor was, kind of listening to all these text messages, listening to Brendan Paul testify again too. But as far as just his demeanor overall, it's still kind of the same thing. As if he's feeling any type of worry or anxiety about what the future may hold, I haven't been seeing that necessarily. And again, not in like a cocky or an arrogant type of way, but really just kind of maybe possibly a more poker face kind of way, where if there's any type of emotional feeling that he is having and, it's not reading over his face, maybe it's in his mind, it's something that we're not seeing. But as far as just his demeanor overall, he kind of is still doing what he's been doing. He's taking his notes, he's listening to testimony, he's jotting his notes down to his defense attorneys. The few moments that I do see him kind of, maybe beam up in a sense is when he sees his family inside the courtroom. So kind of turning around, saying hello to his son, saying hello to his mom, his sister. But as far as any
Peace, God.
type of worrisome demeanor, I haven't seen that, but you never know what's going on through his mind.
Are they there today? Is his family there?
Yep, his family is here today. I saw his sons, just Justin and Christian Combs today, his sister Keisha, his mom, Janice, and then, of course, his friend Charlucci, who's been inside that courtroom pretty much as I've been. Even before the trial began, he was always attending those pretrial hearings, too. So he did have his support system inside the courtroom today, too.
We got this question from Alana Rodriguez. I absolutely love Jesse and Elizabeth. Oh, they're both great. And Jesse, I love the hair. Thank you so much. Question, Elizabeth. So this is important because we found this out. It was actually shocking. We found it out, 15 minutes ago? Elizabeth, when will the trial be over? And when will the prosecution government be done with their case? I mean, we just found out when this is basically going to wrap up, right?
Yes, we did. And it's coming closer to an end pretty much faster than I was expecting to. So because we didn't have court the full day on Wednesday, and of course we had the day off yesterday, it kind of pushed the government's case back just a little bit. So they plan on wrapping up this final summary witness on Monday. Then the cross-examination will happen. That'll probably take a few hours. And then the government plans on resting their case as early as Monday. So that could be a big difference. I think probably the biggest thing, though, Jesse, is that the defense says that they plan that their case will be a lot shorter than expected. Now, originally, Mark Agnifilo was saying, okay, maybe it might be 2 to 5 trial days that they were planning for the defense case. But he was saying, as far as just when the defense plans on resting their case in chief, that could happen as soon as Tuesday or Wednesday. And then, of course, there has to be kind of a conference about jury instructions, all of that stuff. But the judge is saying that we could possibly have closing arguments on Thursday of next week. So that is coming up very fast. And then given, jury deliberations, all of that stuff, a lot of things are moving pretty fast. Even though it was kind of a slow end to finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, it's like, bam, the light's here. We're almost wrapping this case up, and it could happen as soon as next Thursday.
We were talking about this. So if they really think they're going to wrap up their defense's case, A, it doesn't look like Sean Combs is planning to testify. And B, and this is something I'll ask my panelists in a little bit, defense might feel pretty good about their case. They might feel that they don't need to call as many witnesses as they first thought. And through cross-examination or some of the problematic messages and alleged behavior of the witnesses in this case, they might feel reasonable doubt has already been raised. This is a question from @Tia215. Question for Elizabeth Milner. Christina Quorum's name has been up every day of this trial. Will she be coming in?
It doesn't seem that way. It doesn't seem like the defense plans on calling her, and with the government resting their case on Monday, it doesn't seem like they're going to be calling her either. And it's interesting because we have been hearing so much about her. We've been seeing her exhibit photos. We've been hearing her text messages from her devices that were turned over. But as far as seeing an appearance from her, either inside the courtroom or as a supporter of Diddy's, or even inside as a witness for either the defense or the government, we're not getting that, it seems like, from where we're kind of going and where we're at in the case. And so it's pretty disappointing. I was hoping to hear from her just in any type of context, whether it be as a defense witness, whether it be as a government witness, but it doesn't seem like either side plans on calling her, which is pretty disappointing. I really just was hoping, and I think a lot of people were hoping, to know what she has to say just about all of this altogether.
If I had to take a guess, I would say within the first day of jury deliberations, those jurors are going to ask themselves, any idea why she wasn't called? I have to imagine they're wondering that. It's a question we're wondering because her name has come up almost every single day in testimony. And you wonder whether or not the prosecution felt that it might be a weakness to their case. The defense might say, we don't want to call her. She's not going to help us in any way. Her messages may tell more of the story. Elizabeth, I want to play you something. So we talked about this before. There is this newly released audio tape of Cassie Ventura Fine that has come up. Now, this came up during her testimony where she is allegedly threatening this man over him viewing a sex tape of a freak off, something of that nature. We were talking about, does it help the prosecution or the defense? This came up during her testimony, but this is the first time that we, the public, have heard it. Let me play a quick portion of it, and I'm happy to have you on because I want you to correct some misinformation there is about what this tape is. You're going to put it into context for us. So let me play it real quick.
No, you playing games, and now we're never. Now all my friends can go, and we can stay here. All right, everybody can go, and we're gonna stay here. Everybody heard. So they're all leaving. And we're staying here until you show me that I'm going to kill you. You don't understand. I don't give. I've never killed anybody in my life, but I will kill you because you're with me. With me in my life right now. If I saw a video of you doing anything that you didn't want people to see, I would show you the video so you could tell me what the happened. You're playing games with me, telling me you saw. Now you're saying you didn't see some. You with me. I'm going to you up. I don't think you understand. And it's not going to be my hands, and it's not going to be blood on my hands. Someone else is going to do it. So you have to tell me right now, and I'm recording this whole FYI, tell me what the you're talking about.
Elizabeth, put into context for us why that's so important and how it came up.
Yeah, so this particular audio recording came up, and it's pretty interesting. I feel like it can kind of work on both sides, right? Either the prosecution side or the defense's side, because when Cassie was on the witness stand, she was very quiet. She was very soft-spoken. Then the jurors heard this audio where you can see that she's pretty amped up. Why? Because the person that she is kind of confronting in this particular audio recording was someone who conveyed to her that they saw some sexually explicit videos of her, and Cassie wanted to know how they got this video, and this was specifically to, I think he was a club promoter. His name is Sujit, and she was just confronting him about how he got this information, how he got this video, and then just where this video is and how come he's not showing her this particular sexually explicit video. So I've been seeing just some kind of conversations about this particular audio recording where people are saying it's Cassie confronting an escort. That is not the case. This was somebody that Cassie honestly considered a friend who was telling her about this particular audio or this video that he saw of her. And it, again, and the video was sexually explicit. And so Cassie was just confronting them. Why I say it could possibly work on the defense's side is because you can hear Cassie in that video just kind of threatening to kill, and not even threatening to kill, but also threatening to kill, and it won't be at her hands, possibly implying that she can get somebody else to do it for her. And so I think the audio recording, again, can kind of go both directions depending on, I guess, the way the individual is kind of interpreting this particular message. Because of course, if somebody sees a sexually explicit video of you and you want to confront that person, you're going to be pretty mad, you're going to be pretty amped up. But it kind of also works in the defense's favor, because they can also be like, okay, well, you're saying that somebody else can, get violence with this particular person, and it seems like you're kind of making it seem that maybe you could get somebody else, maybe on Diddy's side, to kind of commit this violence on your behalf, that type of thing. And so I believe the audio recording is from 2014-ish of when that was taken. And so yes, this was an audio recording that we have heard it play out in court before, but now it is being released to the public. I think it was the defense who released this particular audio recording too.
I think you're right about that. Obviously, it helps them a lot. But as I talked about, there was a different way the prosecution can ultimately frame it. Hey, she was so concerned about, these tapes coming out, and Diddy allegedly was blackmailing her, threatening to release tapes too, that goes to her fear. Maybe more of a stretch. But Elizabeth Milner, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And I'm going to see you later on today on Sidebar.
Yes. See you then.
See you then. All right, Tyler, I want to go back to you. There was something that we mentioned, I mentioned before. If the defense has now shortened their case and they're only going to have a few days of bringing witnesses, does that signal to you that they feel confident that enough reasonable doubt has been raised that they don't need to put on more of a defense?
I think it does. I think it shows that the defense feels confident in their cross-examination. And I think they probably believe that the prosecution's witnesses have been weak, that the government case isn't that strong. And just to give you an example on some of those points, you know, they're the ones who introduced this tape of Miss Ventura. They could say that, look, this is the real Miss Ventura you heard on audio, not the lady, victim who was pregnant on the stand earlier in this case. So they're going to try to attack the witnesses some more, probably through some evidence that they put up in their case in chief. But just telling the judge here that they expect 2 days worth of testimony logically has to signal that they're confident in their the lack of the strength in the government's case, because they do not have to put up any evidence. They're not required to, and they must feel like they have a good case.
I've never killed anybody in my life, but I will kill you because you're with me. I will kill you, and I will hide you, and I will cut you up and put you in the dirt right now.
Newly released audio.
Subscribe, Law and Crime Network. So that's the Cassie that everybody thinks is the victim and so innocent, and you know, same one lining up all these freak offs, the main participant. Yet and still she gets no credit for anything. You understand? It's deeper than did it. It's deeper than did it. Fat Joe got caught up in a new sexual assault case. So it's not uncommon. Keith, salute. Glad you could tap back in with us. Let's go to Law and Crime Network. Dad raped daughter, father children for more than a decade, prosecutors. We can't hear you, guys. But glad you're in here. There we go.
trial in Raleigh County, West Virginia, for allegedly sexually assaulting his own daughter for 12 years, starting when she was only 9 years old. Yeah. And by the way, in a horrific, disgusting, disturbing twist, the two now have 3 children together. To talk about this, let me bring back on to Sidebar Marion Bracha, practice professor of law, former child abuse, sex crimes prosecutor. So, Marion, this is pretty disgusting. This is beyond disturbing. Are incest cases more common than we might realize, unfortunately?
Well, the cases might not be very common because, unfortunately, when there is abuse within a family, oftentimes it will go unreported, undocumented, unprosecuted. So the cases themselves probably aren't as frequent as the actual occurrence of the crime is. But it certainly happens, as we can see in this case.
By the way, so these are allegations, right? He's innocent until proven guilty. I have to say that. I have to remind myself of that, given what he's charged with, and we will talk about the charges, what the allegations are. How on earth, in a trial, an incest trial, right? If this happens, when it happens, if they happen in general, how do you get a fair and impartial jury?
I think that most defense attorneys would ask the same question. And this is probably a case where because there are offspring involved, because this alleged sexual relationship resulted in the birth of 3 children, 3 offspring. This is actually a case that can be proved on the science. It can be proved based on blood tests, DNA results, birth records, other vital records. And so this is probably a case where the defense would seek to minimize or seek to challenge the science or the results of DNA testing or the validity of the records that are introduced. But you're right, this isn't a case where there is an affirmative defense saying, sure, I did it, but here's why, and this is why I shouldn't be convicted. There would really have to be a challenge to the proof elements that the prosecution would present.
So this is the suspect. This is the suspect in this case, 44-year-old Kenneth Cook. He is reportedly facing 152 charges right now. We had a felony complaint that was first filed against him in December of 2024. People magazine reports that one of the children was found suffering from neglect in August, which seems to have maybe been the jumping off point for an investigation. He was charged with sexual abuse, sexual assault, child neglect, and 3 counts of incest. And then a warrant was issued for his arrest. He wasn't taken into custody until March. And since then, he has been indicted. Now faces 149 total counts of incest, plus sexual assault, sexual abuse, child neglect. So 152 charges in total. Marion, is this typical? I've covered cases like this before where you have an alleged victim or victims describe repeated acts, repeated instances of sexual abuse, and yet they're not charged. The defendant's not charged for every one of those individual acts. This feels different. Is it typical to charge someone like this?
Well, I can't speak to what is typical because that really does vary jurisdiction to jurisdiction and state by state. In this particular jurisdiction in West Virginia, whoever the charging authority was, whether it's the state attorney or the district attorney or the local police department, it would be up to them. It would be within their purview to determine how many charges to attach. So with a defendant who's charged with this many counts of incest, I think what we can glean from that is that the charging authority is saying in these 149 instances, this defendant allegedly engaged in sexual conduct, sexual contact with an offspring, with a child of his own who was his daughter. And so that number, that figure may have come about pursuant to their investigation, pursuant to their interviews with the complaining witness, with the daughter in this case. So it really is up to the charging authority whether they attach one charge per instance over a course of conduct over a number of years, or whether they attach just one charge to reflect an ongoing course of conduct.
Hey, so look, I know you guys might be interested in true crime and legal stories, but a little side note here. Is anybody also in a business of some kind? If so, let me tell you real quick about Odoo, our sponsor. Odoo is a powerful all-in-one business software that helps you manage everything from sales to accounting and, yes, inventory. Their inventory dashboard makes it easy to track receipts, delivery orders, POS orders, and see what's waiting, late, or back ordered all at a glance. You pay for receipts, you automate vendor reminders, and you schedule deliveries all in just a few clicks. Plus, you get full warehouse management, the ability to set picking strategies, and real-time stock visibility. The best part, Odoo's inventory app syncs seamlessly with your sales and e-commerce apps, so everything stays connected. Do you want an inventory software that comes fully packed? Well, check out Odoo for a free 15-day trial at odoo.com/sidebar inventory. Is there a strength in numbers? The prosecution throwing out more of these charges, more of these alleged incidents. Or with respect to a few, does that 49 episodes is to have the victim in this case testify about each one of them, which just to me sounds like such a daunting, grueling task for her to describe this in detail on the stand. Is there a strength in numbers, or could it hurt the prosecution when you have so many charges?
No, I think you've perfectly crystallized the strength and weaknesses of charging like this, attaching one particular count to each instance of the offense. I think that perhaps the thought process of attaching one charge per instance is to be able to aggregate the sentence. So if the statutory maximum penalty or sentence on one charge of incest is, say, 20 years, if the defendant is convicted of more than one count of incest, he can be sentenced to consecutive periods of imprisonment. So it could be 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus however many charges he's found guilty of. So I think that is the thought process in terms of charging that many counts. But realistically, when it comes to trial, would you have a complainant on the stand testifying to 149 different instances? Probably not. I haven't seen that, but I think there is something being communicated there by the prosecution and by the charging authority that there is enough evidence to proceed to trial if they wanted to, and if they wanted to present testimony and evidence on those 149 different counts, they could.
And by the way, if someone's convicted of that, every charge, would a judge run every sentence concurrently or consecutively? Because consecutively, you're looking at what? The rest of your life in prison.
Right. And again, that would be up to the sentencing judge. That would be something that the prosecution could ask for statutory maximum consecutive sentences. So 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 that I described before, or they could run concurrently, which means that all the sentences on the individual charges, if the defendant is convicted, would run at the same time.
Now, we got our hands on this indictment. It's 18 pages long, and it lists out every single one of those 152 charges. For example, count one is third-degree sexual assault of the victim, identified in the indictment as AT, and this is in connection with an alleged incident when she was 14 years old. Count two, sexual abuse by parent, guardian, custodian, or person in a position of trust, also connected to when she was 14 years old. By the way, the fact that they have to have a charge like this is just disgusting in and of itself, but obviously things like this happen. Then you got counts 3 through 151. Those are the incest charges. And then count 152 is gross child neglect, creating substantial risk of serious bodily injury or death. That last count is apparently in connection with one of Cook's youngest children, a 1-year-old, identified only as KC, although investigators indicated that all three children, now ages 5, 3, and 1, according to outlet Channel 2 Now, they were found to be suffering from neglect. Marion, how do you prove neglect of someone so young?
Well, again, I think that is something that's provable via the records, via hospital records, medical records, any observations of investigators or social workers or caregivers of the child at the time that the child was discovered or cared for. So that is certainly something that would have to be proven by eyewitness testimony and by the condition of the child as memorialized and as documented in the records for their treatment.
What's a possible defense for Cook?
The only two possible defenses that I can foresee would be that there is no consanguineous relationship between him and the complainant, meaning that his defense might be that the complaining witness, AT, is not a biological relative of his, is not a blood relative of his. Maybe he could claim that she's a stepchild or an otherwise family relation, but they are not descended from the same ancestor. That's really the definition of incest. Now, of course, a very simple blood test, a paternity test might undermine that defense if that were something.
Salute shout to everybody tuning in. This is Law and Crime Network. Dad raped daughter, father children for more than a decade. Wild story. This is headline news and this trending topic. It gets deeper and deeper as you pay attention and listen. Subscribe to Law and Crime Network.
That he wanted to put forward. That would be one defense. The other defense is something we alluded to earlier, which would be that any of the science, any of the paternity tests or blood tests that the prosecution would seek to introduce would be tainted or would be unreliable expert testimony, and that would come down to a judge's determination as to whether the jury would be permitted to hear from those experts and hear the results of that testing. To be perfectly honest, those are really the only two defenses I can think of, unless, of course, there are inconclusive results from the paternity test between the complainant's offspring, AT's 3 children, and this defendant. If there is no connection there, then the defense is basically, unfortunately, a he said, she said. The complainant is saying this abuse happened, the defendant is saying it didn't, and there is no forensic evidence, there's no scientific evidence to prove that this sexual contact actually existed. Of course, if these 3 children are his children, if they are his descended offspring, then of course that defense also goes out the window.
Just to be clear about something, and I know this is disgusting, but I have to ask it nonetheless. To be clear, even if she was 18 years old, consent is not a defense to incest, right?
Correct. It's not a consent. It is not a defense to incest. We have public policy and public health reasons behind criminalizing incest, and going back historically, the public health concern for incest was the prevalence of genetic disorders. If people who are descended again from the same ancestor and come from the same bloodline are reproducing, there is a higher likelihood of recessive genes coming to the fore, and that could lead to lines of genetic disorders. And so there is a public health concern for it, first and foremost, even if the sexual contact were between 2 consenting adults who are from the same bloodline. But of course, where we see incest most, at least from a prosecutor's perspective, is when there is an adult perpetrator. Against a child victim.
Yeah. Now, Cook's daughter, as Alexandria Thomas on social media, and as we went through to a 1-month period of her life, starting when she was only 9 years old. So there are 12 charges for every year between the ages of 9 and 20, and then 6 months worth when the victim was 21. The most recent abuse charge is from July of 2024. Now, again, we talked about the idea of there is no defense to that, the incest, the consent. But here's the important part. Alexandra posted about her experience on her Facebook page, and this is what she wrote, quote, "Since court has now ended, I'm going to speak my part on the monster most of you all keep messaging me about. I've reported him multiple times since I was 9 years old, but my grandmother worked hand in hand with CPS. Nobody believed me. She made them all think I was lying about it. When my grandpa found out what was happening, he didn't even look surprised. The last time I told a guidance counselor what was happening and CPS was called, my grandma had it swept under the rug, and my dad told me if I ever told again, he knew ways to get me erased." Okay. Now, Marion, we don't know if this is all true. If this is true, it's highly disturbing. First of all, generally speaking, if these allegations are true, is that something you've heard before? I think I just covered a case recently where there was an allegation where a parent came forward and said, don't don't bring to light this. I think it was a stepmother accused of having sexual relations with her stepson, and the stepson was allegedly told by family members, don't say anything, don't report her.
Salute. We'll continue this on, man. I'm glad everybody could step up and come in tonight, man. Salute God, Keys, C-Mac in the building, Kitty Frappuccino, mwah. Yeah, dig, deuce, motherfucking getting up assassin from his truth teller. White Queen, salute to everybody that stepped up, man. I catch up with y'all. We gonna continue on.
Corey Moe.